handled the attacks. The boys were allegedly violated in separate incidents in February and last month. Their family says instead of receiving protection and care, the boys were subjected to unfair disciplinary action after reporting one of the attacks. Please be advised that this report by Nkoskhona Malingamnisi contains graphic and sensitive details.
What started as a reported incident in February has, according to the family, developed into a months-long ordeal marked by allegations of sexual assault, questions over accountability, and concerns about whether vulnerable learners were adequately protected. According to the family, the first incident took place in February when the twins were allegedly sexually assaulted by two older learners. The family says instead of receiving immediate support and protection, the boys were subsequently subjected to disciplinary measures which they believe were unjust and inappropriate, especially given the nature of the allegations. They further alleged that the handling of the matter intensified the emotional trauma experienced by the children rather than prioritizing their well-being and recovery. But the family's concerns did not end there. Just months later, they say another serious incident was reported at the school in June, this time involving allegations that one of the twins had been raped. Their mom, whose identity EWN cannot reveal to protect the children, says she is grappling with a sense of guilt and many unanswered questions after the victim asked that he be picked up from school as he had completed his exams just days before the reported rape.
When he explained to me that he came to my room, I was sleeping. He undressed me and when I was trying to scream, he put his hand on my mouth and he said to me, "If you dare talk, I will kill you." And mommy, he did it 3 times. When he was done, I went to the toilets. When I wiped myself, there was blood on my palms. This is the story I got from my child. And that's exactly what he told the school.
The Gauteng Education Department has confirmed it is investigating the rape incident, adding that the accused learner has been suspended pending a disciplinary hearing. Or see Khona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
Political parties have accused Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption of diluting their recommendations in the latest report. MPs who serve on the committee say the authors of the draft report have submitted whitewashed findings after it found suspended Minister Senzo Mchunu and Brown Mokgotsi had no proven links to criminal networks. But the report has made several referrals to law enforcement agencies to further investigate matters related to suspended Deputy Commissioner Shadrack Sibia. Babalondenza reports.
Members of the committee want the draft report to be reworked and include some of their strong recommendations against Senzo Mchunu for misleading Parliament about knowing self-styled fixer Brown Mokgotsi. Members also believe forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan has been given a free pass, even after evidence linking him to the intimidation of witnesses. EFF MP Leanne Matthys expressed her dissatisfaction about the findings on O'Sullivan and former IPID head Robert McBride.
And this must be reworded to clearly state that the relationship that was between the then IPID director Robert McBride, O'Sullivan and Trent, it was improper and it was irregular and it warrants criminal investigations.
ANC MP Kusela Sangoni Diko says the report should also recommend further investigation into National Coloured Congress MP Fadil Adams for mishandling classified intelligence information.
In our view, we would even go so far as to say they have been diluted.
The committee will hold another meeting to consider the issues raised by the different parties before adopting the report by this month's deadline. Baba Londanza, Eyewitness News.
Police Minister or former Police Minister Bheki Cele says he was unaware of outstanding TRC cases that still needed prosecution when he became National Commissioner in 2010. Cele testified at the TRC Cases Commission of Inquiry yesterday, which is investigating whether police and prosecutors deliberately stalled the prosecution of some TRC-related cases. He was questioned about why he did not ensure that the outstanding cases were properly investigated and prosecuted during his tenure as Commissioner. Cele told the Commission that his focus at the time was ensuring the successful policing and security of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
When I became a National Commissioner, we had a very focused project. That was 2010 World Cup. Many other things, I admit, would have maybe taken a little bit of a backseat because we had to make this 2010 happen.
And Iran's Revolutionary Guards say the Hormuz Strait will remain closed until the U.S. ends its acts of aggression, while warning that other regional oil export routes could also become targets. Fighting between the U.S. and Iran, which began late February, has hampered energy supplies through the Strait of Hormuz, a key transit route for oil and gas shipments from the Gulf. The Revolutionary Guards carried out attacks on U.S. military facilities in Bahrain and Kuwait following American strikes on Iranian territory. U.S. officials have previously rejected Iranian assertions that Tehran can control navigation through the strait and have insisted international shipping routes remain open. Trump was asked on Fox News how long he intends to continue attacks on Iran.
They'll continue until I say it's enough. I mean, they'll continue. They've been, the word the military likes to use is degrade. They've been degraded to a very low level. And they have fight. It's like a great boxer. You think you have him beat, and then all of a sudden he comes back and he gives you a shot.
Gold is trading at $4,053.90 an ounce. The rand is at 16.37 to the dollar, 21.92 to the pound, 18.70 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $85.74 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to roadworks. There's also queuing traffic on the Markwa North between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange.
And in your sport,
Spain, the European champions, will play the World Cup final.
Spain beat a lackluster France 2-0 to go through to the World Cup final, where they face the winner of tonight's semi-final between Argentina and England. Wales captain Dewey Lake in doubt for Saturday's game with Springboks, and India thrashed England by 6 wickets in the first ODI.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at 4 degrees, peaking at 21. Pretoria 6 and 23. Vereniging 3 and 22. The top story in EW and the Sawa. A Gauteng family is demanding justice after their 13-year-old twin sons were allegedly sexually violated twice by fellow learners at their special education school in the Vaal.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to the program. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. On our menu today, we'll be looking at where does traditional leadership and responsibility begin and end. Do the rights of traditional monarchs trump those of citizens, or are we all protected under the law? We'll speak to Professor Musa Kulu about that. Dr. Poppy Ramatuba, never far from the headlines, never far from public attention. The Limpopo Premier will talk to us on a number of issues. She's been talking tough on immigration. The very same Premier who, of course, because she's a medical doctor, often does spot inspections on healthcare facilities in her province. Remember when she confronted a pregnant Zimbabwean mother asking why she was giving birth in a South African hospital? Well, now she's been talking tough on those groupings that are protesting against migrants in South Africa. We'll talk to her about healthcare and the future of Limpopo. It is a Wednesday, another corporate that cares. Today, we're speaking to MTN.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
I'm not alone, of course. As always, I'm with a team of colleagues, behind the scenes producers putting the show together, and in the studio, especially if you're watching us on our YouTube feed, you'll know that Amo Ramila is here with traffic and so much more. Good morning to you, Amo.
Very good morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 Landers.
Alongside Amo is Muteo Khwaripe. Muteo.
Morning, Bongs. 702 Landers.
What time did you go to bed?
After the game. Yeah, after the game. After the game, I had to watch that.
So we're all breathing
class
through the wound, for the next couple of days. Yes. Oh my gosh! I've got a question for you two both, and we'll use maybe the World Cup as an entry point, right? You may remember 1998. Weren't we all at France in our living rooms? The way we watched that particular World Cup as families around one television set is so very different to how many might be watching it today on phones, on tablets, on their computers, in their bedrooms, in the dining room, in the kitchen. We're not quite doing things in the way we used to because of modern conveniences, right? So I'm asking you the question, what do you miss out on? You enjoy the modern convenience, you enjoy the development of technology and what it's brought you, but you realize, oh my gosh, when last did I listen to a full-on album? Because now I can stream the specific songs that I want. Remember what an effort it was to forward a cassette? A song on a cassette?
Yeah, it was better to let it play till it pops.
This is easy. Path of least resistance, right? But we got to enjoy albums. And we can look back on different eras of an artist or a band and say, ooh, that album was much better. The production value on this, there were all those gems that were hidden in an LP. You don't really get that experience today because of the convenience, again, of streaming. Books, do you miss the feel and touch of paper because you're reading ebooks all the time? What is that? What's that thing you miss because you enjoy modern conveniences? Amo?
I think it's definitely books, Bongani. The taking a young walk to the library to do research and taking a bunch of encyclopedias and sitting them with them on the table and paging through and writing, taking notes and, paging through this one, asking a fellow person in the library to say, I'm doing this. What do you think I should be doing? No, go to that section of the library. They have people who've submitted researchers and you can... I miss that.
You miss that?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you're reminding me of map books.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be proud of having a little map book and being able to know that I need to look at on page 68 on this row on DL versus DH, row number 6, and that's where the coordinates will be. And okay, and then I'll map and plot my way to that destination, Mateo.
Now you've got ways. I think for me, it's commuting,
Yes.
We recently took the kids on the Gautrain just for them to experience the train. But I was like, to Lerumo, it's not really the same.
It's not a train. I said train.
I mean, going on the proper train in the coaches where you'd meet different people. And if you travel to work together at the same time every day, you start being friends, you talk about each other's families, your issues, and you're able to share different sources and you get different insights from people. These days, you can just go in an Uber on your own. You're not in a taxi chatting to someone next to you. It's even discussing politics like in a taxi. You just don't get that anymore.
It really gave you a sense of what other people are thinking and feeling about particular
now you're
topics.
in your car.
Yeah, absolutely. The friendships you develop on long distance routes, right? Being at home affairs and finding out why somebody's in the queue.
Yeah, in a queue.
Right. What happened to their document and their ID? And you're never going to see this person again. And so sometimes you even have the freedom to say it exactly the way it is because there's very little consequence of you ever having to account for what you have to say, right? What are those things you miss because of modern conveniences?
Morning, Lenders, morning, Bongs, morning, team, I miss that thing of sitting as a family watching Mahong Quishing, those kind of dramas. Nowadays, everyone just sits in his room and do whatever that he wants or watch TV at his own time. But if you still remember Lisilo Rula, those kind of dramas that needs you guys to sit as a family and watch them, I miss that, bruh. Miss that.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, well, 14 minutes after 6 o'clock, it all happened yesterday at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. You may remember, of course, when the ad hoc committee was looking at the alleged criminality in our law enforcement, General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi, the person who started all of this, went to Parliament and told MPs about a senior investigator within IDAC. This is the Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, one Brian Padayachi, whom he described as a pawn. You'll also remember when a number of high-flying top cops were arrested. Principally among them was the crime intelligence boss for Gauteng, Dumisani Khumalo, Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, I should say. And Ndlandla Mkhwanazi said those arrests were to try and distract police from actual investigations they needed to do. It all came to a head yesterday at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry when indeed Brian Padiachi was testifying about whether or not IDAC even had the mandate to arrest these cops. Padiachi insisting they did so based on a complaint by a member of parliament. When he was pressed on what was actually in that member of parliament's affidavit, the complaint, he had gone to investigate it without even having seen it. And something that Justice Madlanga found to be quite unbelievable.
But why not just give you that document?
So I cannot answer that question.
Do you accept that it doesn't make sense for you not to be given that document? Simply doesn't.
Let me just say it this way.
Do you accept that it does not make sense for you not to be given that document?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, tell me.
What I'm responding to factually, and this is factually, the chief criminal investigator was responsible for us.
I'm not talking about this instance now. I'm talking generally. Does it make sense for the investigator not to be given the Section 27 referral affidavit? Does that make sense? In general terms now.
Does it make sense? You're investigating people, top cops. You even go so far as arresting them, and you haven't even seen the complaint that should form the basis of your investigation. What did Pravin Gordhan tell us to do? Mutel, what did he say? Connect the dots, right? And it's all starting to come together. I want you to listen now to Andrea Johnson, who is now the head, of course, of the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, making comments to staff in a meeting at the National Prosecuting Authority, essentially saying to them, fake it till you make it. Have a listen.
I asked that everybody go to court because you are a team. But we asked that everyone be dressed to the nines, and they were dressed to the nines. And I asked that they carry those file boxes, that you carry with your files, and make sure the spines are all marked even if there's nothing in the file.
So investigators must investigate without having seen the complaint that forms the basis of their investigation. Why wouldn't they? When their boss has said, just carry files in court. Make sure you're dressed to the nines. Mark them really, really well. Do you remember what Andrea Johnson said to us? It's quite unbelievable. This was almost 4 years ago. It was July 2022. She'd just been appointed head of IDAC. And this is what she had to say to us.
I think the message has to be clear, but not just to them, but to all of those that were implicated and might be implicated in corruption, not just through the state capture, is that it is very important for you to know that what you've done in the dark is going to come out in the light. Advocate Johnson cannot afford to back down. That's not what I'm made of. That's not what the people of the country expect of the new investigating director. So yes, if the evidence leads us to you, whoever you may be, we're going to be, I don't know if we're going to knock on the door, but we will be at your door.
Remember, I'd asked her what she was going to do about those who had been implicated in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And she said, what you do in the dark will be exposed in the light. Huh?
Let's walk the talk.
702.
19 after 6, Mattel, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning if you're ever in a position to work with someone who's a very, very close friend. Given how social you are and how silly you get sometimes with your friends, do you think you'd be able to keep it professional all of the time?
I mean, I feel like I'm doing that right now. I feel like I'm trying to keep it professional with friends. Ouch, Amo. Ouch. Don't you feel that way?
I do. Especially in the morning when we gather for, ahead of the show. It's a catch up. Then, the producers have to say, guys, we have to focus.
Yeah, I don't even have to imagine.
We wouldn't be able to do this if we weren't.
If we didn't, I cannot work with people I don't get along.
Yeah.
If we can't be friends, let's all go our separate ways.
I've worked with friends before and we weren't really productive. So much so that I even made the decision, look, I need to go somewhere else because this is not working out.
702.
Weather.
20 after 6, this EWN weather brought to you by Samsung Air Conditioners. Stay warm your way. A fine and cool weather day expected in Gauteng today. Temperatures will peak a little higher than we've seen this week. Joburg 21 is your high. 23 in Pretoria, 22 in Vereeniging. Cape Town, same, a bit cloudy with a light breeze, maxing at 17. Mahikeng 24, Gqeberha 20. Kukombo City at 19 will be your peak. Durban 22.
Yeah, winter. A dozen layers of clothes just to feel warm. And the aircon wars at the office never end. But when you get home, Samsung air conditioners bring you efficient heating, ensuring tailored and family-friendly comfort indoors. So stay warm your way this winter. Shop for your perfect fit at Samsung stores, participating retailers, or speak to a friendly installer today.
EWN Traffic.
Let's have a first look at the roads. Amo, what are you seeing?
Well, we've got
Friend?
delays in Protea Glen along the main road approaching the Afra 5 and 8. There's also queuing traffic in Eldorado Park along the Golden Highway towards East Street. That's due to roadworks taking place along this route, and more roadworks are taking place in Germiston along the N3 North, causing heavy traffic volumes. This is between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. I'll have more updates coming up. If you see anything else, though, we are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery, and unveiling benefits. Apply today, it's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bets brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Don't miss the last week of the Checkers XXL Savings Championship. Get deals like Cape Point frozen prawn meat 800 grams for $159.99. Stork Country Spread 40% fat spread 1.2 kgs for 49 Rand. And Listerine Premium Mouthwash 500 mils for $79.99. Valid until 19 July, only at Checkers.
FNB presents the Retirement Reality Gallery, where retirement meets art. Inspired by the 2026 FNB Retirement Insights Survey, this immersive exhibition brings to life the hopes, fears, and financial realities shaping retirement in South Africa. Explore thought-provoking installations by leading South African artists at the Goodman Gallery in Rosebank from Thursday the 16th to Sunday the 19th. And then, of course, you'll catch 702 Breakfast in conversation with FNB this Wednesday to learn more. Brought to you by FNB.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
All right, 24 minutes after 6 o'clock. We're taking your voice notes on 072 702 1702. We're talking about the things you now miss out on because of modern conveniences.
Hi, Bongani. I miss the art of ukushela. Technology has completely ruined it. I wish we can go back to that era of ukushela properly, like you're from Parktown. Thank you.
How do I explain ukushela? It's the idea of proposing love, and at times to a complete stranger. I'm not sure if that isn't something we shouldn't leave in the past.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9
25
a.m.
after 6, things you need to know at this hour. All eyes will certainly be on the Western Cape High Court today, as that court hears President Cyril Ramaphosa's urgent bid to halt Parliament's impeachment process into the Phala Phala scandal. The president is asking the court to stop Parliament's Section 89 impeachment committee from beginning its work until there's been a ruling on whether the initial independent panel's report, which found he may have a case to answer over that 2020 theft at his farm, was legally valid. It is going to be fireworks. Just hours after threatening to slap a 20% fee on all cargo ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz, US President Donald Trump has made another dramatic U-turn. He says now, instead of imposing the levy, the US will pursue massive trade and investment agreements with the Gulf states that he says they are protecting in order to guard the Strait of Hormuz. And after months of explosive allegations and high-profile testimony, Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating claims of corruption within the criminal justice system has reached a key point. Its draft report essentially clears the suspended police minister Senzo Mchunu and several officials and says there are no real links to criminal syndicates and cartels. It clears the suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibia and even IDAC head Andrea Johnson of any criminal involvement. There'll be a lot of debate about this. Some MPs, of course, as you heard in Eyewitness News, saying this is a whitewash and doesn't take into consideration all of their inputs. The difficulty they will have is to show us the smoking gun. How sad was it? I mean, it was one of the most iconic photographs. Princess Diana comforting a disconsolate Elton John. This was at the funeral of Gianni Versace, who was murdered on this day in 1997. The fashion world sent into a frenzy, left in shock when the Italian designer was killed outside his iconic Miami beach. And at the funeral, as I say, there's that very, very poignant picture of Princess Diana comforting Elton John. It was hardly a month later where he had to find the strength to sing at her funeral. On this day in 2012, the band Queen were crowned in the UK as the most patriotic band. Their theme, or their anthem, We Are the Champions, named #1 by fans who were asked a simple question: what makes you proud? What song makes you proud to be British? And this was the song they chose. God help us if the English win on Sunday. God help us all. What's the song that makes you proud to be South African? It doesn't have to be the best or most well-known. The song that makes you proud to be a South African.
702.
The newspapers.
Swisa Zulu.
Good morning.
Oh, I'm starting with the story you told us about. It's taken me a good 28 minutes to just sort of settle into it. The story that you are running on EWN, this Gauteng family devastated after their 13-year-old twin sons were allegedly sexually violated twice by a fellow learner at a special school in the Vaal. And from what I understand, the family says there hasn't been an appropriate or indeed a sufficient response from authorities.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Bongani. They've been in discussions with the school as well, but they're basically saying they're not getting satisfactory responses and replies. The kids actually had to be taken out of the school. There are criminal proceedings that happened to the victims, or rather the perpetrators of this alleged crime, but basically the family saying that we are not getting the satisfactory response that we're actually looking for to get the help that our children need.
I mean, the idea that the claim is that they were violated in separate incidents, months apart, and then they say instead of receiving protection and care, the boys were subjected to secondary victimization through an unfair disciplinary hearing.
Absolutely, because the family is basically saying this is a special needs school and it's not an ordinary school where other kids go, but they need an extra layer of protection. and the family feels they did not get that.
It's an awful, awful story. I've been asking the question about modern conveniences that remind you of what you're missing out. There's a stunning piece in today's Business Day written by Jabulani Skakane, and he's talking about exactly this, how technology takes away that human touch in terms of how we live our lives. It is really, really worth a read.
EWN Business.
Michelle wants to know, can you work with your close friends? Is it a mess? Can you be professional even though these are your faves? Or do you find that actually you're not productive, you have to go your separate ways? What prompts the question?
Hello, Fave. I'm talking about this particular story because the Competition Commission has recommended that private equity firm Harith General Partners be allowed to acquire FlySafair subject to conditions. Now, the regulator does have one major concern. Harith has an existing 37.5% stake in Lanseria International Airport. To prevent the FlySafair from gaining an unfair advantage, the Commission says the investor must ensure all other airlines are treated equally at the airport, prevent the sharing of sensitive business information, and avoid giving FlySafair preferential pricing or access. Now, the acquisition will help FlySafair, which controls more than 60% of the domestic seat capacity, to address regulatory pressure to meet South African ownership rules. The airline has faced regulatory scrutiny over foreign ownership rules, which limit overseas ownership of South African domestic airlines to just 25%. In 2024, the Domestic Air Services Council said the FlySafair was in breach because trusts and companies, not people, own 75% of the airline's voting rights. The ruling followed a complaint by the local rival Lyft. Now, if approved, the acquisition would bring FlySafair into full South African ownership, strengthening its regulatory compliance. The transaction still requires approval from the Competition Tribunal.
All right, do you approve of the rand?
Yes, this morning gaining a little bit on the dollar, 16 Rand 34 at this hour, 18 Rand 69 against the euro, 21 Rand 89 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,032 an ounce, it's down 0.5%, while platinum is at $1,633. Brent crude at $85 a barrel. More business after 7.
What's that song that makes you proud to be South African? Do let us know. Is it Pata Pata? Is it Johnny Clegg and the Scatterlings of Africa? Is it Nkalankata? Doesn't have to be the best song or the most popular, but it just stirs your soul. In the meantime, Sfisa Zulu, gosh, more gruesome news.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the murder of March and March Gauteng leader Andile Somgaka. He was shot in the driveway of his home in Greenfield just earlier this month and succumbed to his injuries last Thursday. March and March has been spearheading anti-illegal immigration demonstrations in some parts of the country. Police spokesperson Athlenda Mate says the motive for the shooting is not yet known.
We are committed to conducting a thorough investigation to establish the circumstances surrounding this murder and to ensure accountability. Meanwhile, the acting National Commissioner has issued a stern warning to individuals and groups who continue to intimidate, harass and perpetrate violence against foreign nationals, stating that such actions are unlawful and will not be tolerated.
Czech convict Radovan Krejča's lawyer has rejected suggestions that he is abusing his constitutional rights to frustrate court proceedings. Natasha Otepsky was responding to concerns that Krejča appears to be delaying his long-running criminal case involving 4 other accused who face charges including money laundering, fraud and forgery. Krejča appeared in the Palm Ridge Specialized Commercial Crimes Court, where his trial was postponed to March next year. Otepsky denies the state's claim that it's been ready to go on trial since 2018.
The state isn't ready to proceed. If the state was ready to proceed, they would have objected to these matters or to these postponements. In fact, the state sits and does nothing about it and allows the postponement.
She says and denies that Krejča has any interest in dragging out the case.
Every person in this matter is quick to blame accused number 4, not realizing that he's not trying to deliberately delay the matter. He actually does want it to proceed. We also have to keep in mind that the longer he stays in custody, the longer he's going to be kept here. He hasn't seen his family for over 10 years. He wants to see his family.
And Electricity and Energy Minister Josian Ramokgopa is warning that South Africa's multi-billion rand grid expansion won't deliver the economic growth government wants unless industry keeps pace. Ramokgopa says industrialization remains government's energy strategy. The new transmission or lines expected to unlock investment in manufacturing, mining and other productive sectors. He says South Africa must tackle critical skills shortages, improve industry readiness and build the technical capacity that's needed to fully benefit from the expanded electricity network. Ramokgopa was speaking at the 2026 Manufacturing Indaba.
Although you have an ambition of domestic production, but for as long as industry is not ready, the skills are not there, the program is dead in the water. It's a stillborn. And that's why there has to be some degree of congruence on how you prepare the industry and the skills to support the build program.
A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 4 and 6 degrees, peaking at highs between 21 and 23.
And in the traffic, of got delays on the N3 North. That's between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to roadworks there. There's also queuing traffic in Protea Glen along Main Road, approaching the R558.
The top story, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the murder of March and March Gauteng leader Andile Somgatla.
What is your business here?
You didn't start your business to play it safe. You took the leap, made the bold move, and now it's time to make the next one. This week, 702 and Budget Business Insurance are giving small businesses the chance to win their share of 100,000 Rand with the Budget BizBucks Bonanza. Enter on PrimeMediaPlus.com. Tell us about the boldest move you've ever made in your business and what your next one will be. Then get an obligation-free Budget Business Insurance quote. 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa could call you. Budget Insurance is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply.
For over 120 years, Shell has been woven into the vibrant fabric of Mzansi, fueling your engines and your dreams, powering your journeys and your potential. We believe progress is measured in the opportunities we create, the smiles we inspire, and the lives we continue to touch. We are more than just energy. We're the everyday difference in people's lives. You can always count on Shell.
Joburg, it's time to show up for our city. On Sunday, 26 July, join thousands of Joburgers for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in proud partnership with Standard Bank. Walk through the heart of Johannesburg, celebrate its rich history, and experience the positive growth taking place in the CBD. As a committed partner, passionate about the growth of our city, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement that's helping build a safer, stronger, and spirited Josie for generations to come. Register now and take the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
It's just Andalex it.
Andalex, a proud sponsor of The Masked Singer Season 3.
Coming up in the next hour, What's the Question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand is up for grabs. 1,000 Rand for the question, which you can WhatsApp us to 072 702 1702 for the answer. And then someone else will win 2,000 Rand to get to your question. Remember, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance to get yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani and the team, Bradley and Randberg. Guys, I miss telecom landlines. I remember my grandfather used to have the key for that phone. And when it rings, you need to call him, you need to call my grandmother. No one just pick up that phone. Unlike today, immediately when you put your phone on top of the table, the kids just took the phone and then you hear the poppies there on the phone screaming, doing all these things, you know. So yeah, that's always show as always, guys. Have a lovely day.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Ukushela, if I'm not mistaken, it will be courting. And if I have got it right, never in my wildest dreams have I ever thought that I will teach Ubongani one day. Sekgowa. But for me, I think, and this will sound crazy, I'm sure, I miss going to the post office, doing the business at the post office, whether it is posting a brief or a letter and stuff like that. That I really miss. Testing the sweetness on the stamp, eating from Marshalltown.
Bongani, this year, I miss the Trans-Karoo train, going to see family in Kimberley or visiting Cape Town. Oh, I miss those days. But this is not technology, it's the crooks who killed the industry. I wish the train could come back this year.
Morning 7 Ocho. Hey, I miss the days when we used to watch the television as a family. You know, those days when I was young, there was very, very, very less explicit content on TV. Nowadays, you see your children, they're just stuck on their phones. Some of them are in their bedrooms, they're just stuck on their phones. You start to wonder, what are they doing there? It was good those days when there was only one TV set and there's 7 or 8 of us in the room. There was less explicit content on TV because they knew we're all watching one TV set. Man, I miss those days.
There's a fascinating piece in the Business Day today by Jabulani Skakane, who says a little inconvenience is in fact good for society. He says we treat waiting as wasted time. Often it is, but sometimes waiting does something useful. It forces people into some place with nothing to do long enough for conversations to begin. What do you miss? You appreciate the modern convenience, but you realize, oh my gosh, having to play a cassette made me listen to the whole album. Streaming, I don't even know the full album that I'm listening to these days.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongani.
So, Mandy Wiener called it yesterday on her show. She was debating with Mawande, and the consensus between the boys, because I think it was Mawande, it was Karabo Jali, and I think even Keta, the producer, they were all saying France, 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 France. And Mandy said, well, hang on, Spain looks really, really strong. And so they were.
Yeah, and so they were. And I said it yesterday that it would be a 1-goal game, but it turned out to be a 2-goal game, which goes against the odds for a semi-final, because generally the semi-finals of a World Cup are low scoring. But yes, Spain through to the World Cup final. Everybody's saying that France just did not show up. You could say that France did not show up, but you could also say Spain held France at bay, right?
Yeah.
Spain played their own game and they beat France 2-0. France just looking flat-footed as Spain just completely took control. They had the lead through a debatable Oyarzabal penalty awarded after Lucas Digny, while trying to clear the ball, kicked Lamine Yamal. After half-time, Pedro Porro slotted in the second. Spain captain Rodri says the team's composure has been key.
We're showing a character of being so mature in certain moments and in big moments, and this is for me the most important thing, to wait your moment in the game, to don't get crazy because they punish you or they make an action or whatever.
French captain Kylian Mbappe admits they let Spain control the game.
I think it was difficult for us because tactically we had a plan to go for them under pressure, to go 1 against 1, to don't let them lead the tempo of the game, to don't let them play in the way they want to play, because of course it's a team who love to have the control of the game, the control of the ball. That's what we let them do.
Spain waits to see if they'll play England or Argentina in Sunday's final. Those sides play tonight at 9. Cobus Reinach starts for the Springboks for the first time this year. They're taking on Wales on Saturday. He partners at halfback with 20-year-old Vusi Moyo.
If you train with him for the last few weeks, you'll know you don't have to look after him. He can look after himself. Might be a young man, but he's got soft hands and he knows the game very well. So we're all excited for him to play. I'm on his inside, Doug's on his outside, so there's nothing to worry about, and it's not an individual sport. It's 23 players, all got each other's back. So yeah, exciting times.
Wales captain Dewey Lake's in doubt due to a groin injury. Ryan Elliott's on standby to replace him, with Jack Morgan ready to take over as captain. Elliott D and Freddie Thomas have been called up. Ireland boosted by the return from injury of Rob Balakoon and Jeremy Loughman for Saturday's game with the All Blacks. Scotland don't have Alex Samuel, Kyle Steyn and Rory Dodge for their match with Fiji. In cricket, India thrashed England by 6 wickets yesterday in the first ODI. Gill retired hurt on 80, man of the match Patel unbeaten on 57. And at the Tour de France, Tadej Pogacar winning stage 10. That's his third stage win at this year's race. He holds onto the yellow jersey 3 minutes ahead of Vingegaard. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Cutting costs means more money for your business. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Marshall from Bow Electrical.
I was with my other insurance for many years and then I switched to Outsurance Business Insurance. It was a one quick call. They give me a great cover and a great price. Give them a call. You have nothing to lose. I wish I have switched sooner.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The Global Entrepreneurship Congress Africa returns to Cape Town from 16 to 17 September 2026. The continent's largest Pan-African platform brings together investors, policymakers, and entrepreneurs. GEC Plus Africa is powered by African Bank in partnership with the Western Cape Government, Microsoft, Amazon, Telkom, 22 on Sloan, and more. Register on gecafrica.co. GEC Plus Africa. Connecting Africa.
This Wednesday, July 15th, you could win an estimated 22 million rand total lotto jackpot. That's 17 million for Lotto, 1 million for Lotto Plus One, and 4 million for Lotto 5 Max. Catch the live draw this Wednesday at 9 p.m. on ETV and SABC. You could become SA's next multi-millionaire. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Caesar Kaya. The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Some changes going on in the streaming industry. The public broadcaster's SABC Plus app has a huge audience, a large amount of free content. What's driving this move to more free streaming services?
The drive is really the consumers who are driving it, more especially in the West, where consumers have this subscription fatigue, where you have multiple subscriptions in order to just get a decent bouquet of worth of content. Consumers are saying, no, we just don't want to do that.
In Kobile Ndlovu, founder of Cash and Sport.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa Rewards. Get double cash back depending on your rewards tier when an African team scores and wins at the FIFA World Cup 2026, courtesy of Visa. Use your Absa Visa card at rewards partners on match days to score. Join Absa Rewards on the banking app. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hi, Uncle Bongani. My name is Dorcas and I am 12 years old. I go to large school Acacia, and what I want to be when I grow up is a neurosurgeon. I am so excited to play with Bongani, Uncle Bongani and the Whiz.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
France play the 2010 winners, Spain. The game will feature one of the most clinical attacks in France against a team that has only conceded 1 goal so far.
Predictions, please.
Got to be France.
Really?
I'm going for France. I really hope they...
I'm saying 0-0 and then penalties.
What?
No
but who's going to win?
France.
So I just quickly have to read this message from Eugene. He says, penalties 5-4 to FIFA, Argentina.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Joburg, it's time to shop for our city. Sunday, 26th of July. Thousands walking in the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank, walking through the heart of Johannesburg, experiencing the exciting growth taking place in the CBD. Now, as a committed partner invested in the future of our city, Standard Bank invites you to be a part of a movement helping to build a stronger, safer and more vibrant Josie. Register today and take part in the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Chamberlain now has 10 branches throughout Gauteng, with 36,000 items in stock 98.5% of the time. Our available and knowledgeable staff are ready to help you. Big on stock, strong on service, built on values. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
Welcome to Nando's Taste-Demonials.
It's the flavor!
Real reviews by real people. Nico from Kailami is in touch with his emotions. So when we asked about the Nando's Peri Peri half chicken and a single side for only $1.25, he said,
I'm sad. I finished it.
Ah, Nikos, ungawari. Because this chicken season has more episodes. Nando's. Oh, what a place.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. More roadworks on the N3 North. Delays there, to be sure.
There are indeed delays, Bongani. This is between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road stretch. There's also queuing traffic on the N12 and the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis Interchange. That's due to peak time pressure there. While traveling on the Mike 1 North in the Sandton area, we've got delays approaching Grayston Drive. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever excuses for being late, number 95. I had load shedding and couldn't charge my phone, so I didn't have an alarm. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
Mavis, I wonder if I should sell my car. I'm not sure where to go.
Wanna sell your car, but don't know what to do. You don't have to go far, we come to you. If you're rolling under 1.5 or a Lacquer 2.2, doesn't matter what you drive, we buy cars once you.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
This Wednesday, July 15th, you could win an estimated 22 million Rand total lotto jackpot. That's 17 million for Lotto, 1 million for Lotto Plus One, and 4 million for Lotto 5 Max. Catch the live draw this Wednesday at 9 p.m. on ETV and SABC. You could become SA's next multi-millionaire. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Caesar Kaya.
Your next transaction could win you a brand new Mazda 2. As proud partners of 702's Walk the Talk, Absa and Mazda are putting Josie in the driver's seat. Download, register and transact on the Absa banking app between 26 June and 20 July 2026 to qualify. The winners will be announced on race day. Absa is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. Competition terms and conditions and minimum spend apply.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Today we're playing the Whiz Quiz with 12-year-old Dorcas, who I'm told wants to be a neurosurgeon a little later on in life. Dorcas, if not a neurosurgeon, what other career?
A medical doctor.
Medical doctor. I imagine maths and science are probably your favorite subjects, eh?
Yes.
All right, let's see if you get the maths questions right in today's Whiz Quiz. KG, start the clock. How many years are there in a century? Is it 100 or 10?
100.
Correct. What do you call animals that only eat plants?
Herbivore.
Correct. Which South African mountain range is known as Ukahlamba?
Pass.
Drakensberg. Complete the saying, don't cry over spilt what?
Milk.
Correct. What is the name of Mickey Mouse's girlfriend?
Minnie Mouse.
Correct. How many official provinces make up South Africa?
9.
Correct. True or false? GPS stands for Global Positioning System.
True.
Correct. In maths, how many sides does an octagon have?
8.
Correct. True or false? South America is the continent with the most fresh water.
False.
Correct. Spell the word luxury.
Luxurious.
No, luxury. You made it complicated. I think you tried to spell luxurious there, but you did really, really well, Dorcas. You walk away with 800 Rand.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
702.
The Africa Report.
The Africa Report today focuses on African traditional leadership. What are the rights and responsibility of monarchs, and do those trump over those of citizens? It comes, of course, after that viral recording featuring the AmaZulu king, Misizulu kaZwelithini, where he is seen, quite frankly, verbally abusing one of his wives. She, of course, filmed the video to give a sense of the nightmare that her life is often under. Professor Musaqulu is a cultural expert and joins us to explore some of the themes around this. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, Prof. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Bongani. Good morning to you and good morning to your listeners.
I don't know if you saw the video that went viral of one of the queens, Queen Nomzamo Myeni, in a really disturbing exchange with her husband, the AmaZulu king, Misizulu kaZwelithini.
I did. I saw the video.
What was your feeling?
Well, I was not surprised because you know I have been following the king for quite some time. So the difference is that this time it was a recording, but there has been similar instances also with maybe let me say the difference is that this time he was recorded by his own wife. But there has been instances in the past where also one of his sisters recorded him, and maybe I've seen him live in such a situation, so I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah, he's thrown one or two perlas your way, hasn't he?
Yes, no, he does, and I've learned because I've seen him in that situation. Live, I don't really bother about it at all.
Look, the bigger question here is how do we contend with the idea of traditional leadership and in the sense of a monarchy where a king or a queen's word is virtually gospel? How do we contend with that paradigm in a modern secular democracy where all citizens are equal before the law?
Well, it's impossible to have a group of persons being exempt from the constitutional provisions, and you must remember that the kings and monarchs and queens in South Africa are not absolute monarchs, not unlike Eswatini or Morocco, or to some extent Lesotho. They fall under a constitutional arrangement which make them to be subnational monarchs, and therefore they are also equally subject to the rule of law. They are also subject to the constitutional provisions, and they are also expected to respect the rights of others.
I mean, what's difficult about this is, of course, we're living in a country where the scourge of gender-based violence is on the front pages of newspapers almost every other day. Women are murdered, one every 3 hours. What was particularly striking was in some of the exchange, the king accuses his wife of an extramarital affair, even though he then says to her, one of his girlfriends is waiting for him.
Yes, because it's a cultural arrangement where a man can do as he wishes, but a woman is limited to being a subject to the man, which of course would be unconstitutional. A few days before, there was a video where the king was actually condemning GBV. So, also he was in a similar state, but was sitting with made people and was condemning GBV. So there are those contradictions. He's aware, I think, that we have this scourge in South Africa. but he found himself, because of maybe the state he was in, actually connecting the same towards a woman who seemed to be unable to escape from the kind of barrage she was going through. So the monarchs tend to stick a lot to the traditions of old, like we are still in the 18th or 19th century, and there is no legal framework or job description or some kind of code of conduct that is written down to guide them. So they rely on what happened before democracy, and which is problematic. Maybe there's an area of action that government should look at in terms of expanding its legislative framework around traditional leaders. Some are guilty of beating people up as they wish, and they expect no consequences because they are kings.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I think wasn't it the Abatembu king who in fact was convicted of not only beating his subjects but burning some of their homes, and upon his release went back to sitting on the throne. It's a really awful one, and I think, as you say, we need some introspection around how this is to be conducted going forward. Appreciate your time as always, Professor Musa Ulu, a cultural expert.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview focuses on the Limpopo Premier, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba. We'll talk immigration, healthcare accountability, even Ben 10s.
This is EWN.
It's Ket Matlala's Day at the Madlanga Commission, and South African health authorities promise not to be caught sleeping over Ebola. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Alleged crime boss Vusumuzi Ket Matlala is expected to appear at the Madlanga Commission today for his much-anticipated testimony. The Commission has described Matlala as central to its investigation of criminal and political infiltration into the country's justice system. Matlala is currently behind bars, facing charges ranging from attempted murder, fraud and corruption. Tabiso Goba has more.
Vusumuzi Ket Matlala wears a lot of hats, from tender tycoon, alleged underworld crime boss and political fixer. His name has been mentioned countless times since the Madlanga Commission began its hearings last September. Matlala has been implicated in paying off some of the most senior cops in the SAPS, from gifting Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya a herd of impalas to a 70,000 rand cash loan to organized crime boss Richard Shibiri. He's also showered SAPS section head for quality management Rachel Macheng with money and gifts. However, she told the commission these were not bribes but romantic gestures since they were having an affair. It's also been alleged Matlala used his influence to get people arrested, access confidential police documents, and score multi-million rand tenders. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
At the same time, the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee on Police Corruption has recommended that suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya be referred for further investigation. But the committee in its first draft report has not found Sibiya or suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu guilty of any criminal conduct or links to cartels for that matter. The committee discussed the findings yesterday as it prepares to close the chapter after almost a year of investigations. Committee Content Advisor Christine Silkstone says they are not a court of law or a prosecuting body.
Around Lieutenant Sibiya, the report finds serious unresolved issues and referrals, and makes referrals, but does not find that he acted for Mr. Matlala, Mr. Mokgotsi, or an organized crime network.
But MK Party MP David Skosana has rejected the finding on Mchunu.
Minister Mchunu relationship with Mr. Mokgotsi. We made it very clear that Minister Mchunu initially had a public denial, on the minimization of his associate with Mr. Mokgotsi.
A Gauteng family is demanding justice after their 13-year-old twin sons were allegedly sexually violated twice by fellow learners at their special education school in the Vaal. The family is questioning the way the Krugerland School management handled the attacks. The boys were allegedly violated in separate incidents in February and last month. Their family says instead of receiving protection and care, the boys were subjected to unfair disciplinary action after reporting one of the attacks. Please be advised that this report by Nkosikhona Malingamnisi contains graphic and sensitive details.
What started as a reported incident in February has, according to the family, developed into a months-long ordeal marked by allegations of sexual assault, questions over accountability, and concerns about whether vulnerable learners were adequately protected. According to the family, the first incident took place in February when the twins were allegedly sexually assaulted by 2 older learners. The family says instead of receiving immediate support and protection, the boys were subsequently subjected to disciplinary measures which they believe were unjust and inappropriate, especially given the nature of the allegations. They further alleged that the handling of the matter intensified the emotional trauma experienced by the children rather than prioritizing their well-being and recovery. But the family's concerns did not end there. Just months later, they say another serious incident was reported at the school in June, this time involving allegations that one of the twins had been raped. Their mom, whose identity EWN cannot reveal to protect the children, says she is grappling with a sense of guilt and many unanswered questions after the victim asked that he be picked up from school as he had completed his exams just days before the reported rape.
When he explained to me that he came to my room, I was sleeping. He undressed me and when I was trying to scream, he put his hand on my mouth and he said to me, "If you dare talk, I will kill you." And mommy, he did it 3 times. When he was done, I went to the toilets. When I wiped myself, there was blood on my palms. This is the story I got from my child. And that's exactly what he told the school.
The Gauteng Education Department has confirmed it is investigating the rape incident, adding that the accused learner has been suspended pending a disciplinary hearing. Or see Khona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
And the health department says science, not fear, is driving its preparations for a possible Ebola outbreak in the country. The virus has been mostly reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda, prompting authorities across the region to review their readiness for any imported cases. Although there are no confirmed Ebola cases on South African soil, government says it's determined to not be caught off guard. Mongezi Koko reports.
Ebola is a highly infectious viral disease that can cause severe fever, vomiting, diarrhea, and in some cases bleeding. The Department of Health says the disease has a high fatality rate, but it is not airborne and requires direct contact with the bodily fluids of an infected person to spread. Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi says 12 private and 24 public hospitals have been set to manage suspected cases.
Case fatality rate of at least 1/3 eventually die. Sometimes it goes as far as 50%. But the good news is that you need very direct contact with the person with Ebola and share body fluids with them for you to get it.
Health officials say the focus remains on preparedness, surveillance and rapid response should a suspected case emerge. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,053.90 an ounce. The rand is at 16.37 to the dollar, 21.92 to the pound, 18.70 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $85.74 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got a major accident scene reported in the city of Tshwane. It's along the N1 South, right near Water Avenue. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up coming out of the Flying Saucer interchange. That's also queuing traffic along Main Road towards the intersection of Nelmapius Drive. This is due to peak time delays while traveling in Joburg. Delays on the Mike-1 North between Boysons Road and Carr Street.
And in your sports, Spain takes full control of last night's semi-final, beating France 2-0 to book their place in the World Cup final. England say the pressure's on Argentina ahead of tonight's second semi-final. Wales captain Jimmy Lake in doubt for Saturday's Nations Championship match with the Springboks. And India thrash England by 6 wickets in the first ODI.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees. The top story this hour, alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Matlala is expected to appear at the Madlanga Commission today for his much-anticipated testimony.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Jozi.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
They may seem like two completely unrelated stories. Just before the news, we spoke to Professor Musaqulu about this viral video of the Zulu King. It's quite extraordinary. You see Mrs. Zulu Kazwelithini frankly insulting one of his wives. He uses language that would make a sailor blush. And she says nothing. She's sitting on the ground. And at the end of the video, she just whispers, "This is my life. This is what I have to put up with night and day." Of course, the king has since issued a statement apologizing. They've been seen together in public at events. And I suppose that is meant to make us think it's all sorted. There are those who are apologists who say this is a private matter between the king and his wife, and therefore leave it at that. And then this awful story in EWN, these kids at a special needs school who say they have been assaulted sexually by a fellow learner, and instead of receiving help, they were victimized further and subjected to disciplinary hearings. It's about the people we think we have power over, the people who are vulnerable, the people who seem voiceless. I don't know what needs these two children have. And I certainly don't know what needs their alleged assailant might have. But we as a society need to rethink our relationship with the most vulnerable among us, don't we?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
12 minutes after 7 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. The Oscar-winning actor Forrest Whitaker turns 65 today. You remember, of course, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his portrayal of Idi Amin, the last king of Scotland. Also celebrating is Emmy-winning actor Yaha Abdul Mateen, who turns 40 years old. You'll know him from The Watchmen, Aquaman, and The Matrix Resurrections. Darlene Graham, the younger sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, was sworn into the United States Senate yesterday, just days after his brother's sudden death. Essentially, she's taking over her brother's seat in the Senate to represent the state of South Carolina. And they say the things they say about our politics, don't the Americans? The Western High Court today will begin hearing President Cyril Ramaphosa's urgent application to stop Parliament's Section 89 impeachment committee from proceeding whilst the courts review the legality of the initial report that said he had a case to answer. And, of course, the 2026 FIFA World Cup final takes place this Sunday, the 19th of July, with a 25-minute halftime break. Essentially, they're going to try and turn this into the football Super Bowl kind of final. They'll have Jennifer Hudson performing the American anthem, even though the Americans aren't in the final.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining about that on social media, saying, but America is not in the final. What? Aren't they the hosts?
No. You only get your national anthem if you're playing. Gosh, Madonna's performing, Shakira is performing, Coldplay, Burna Boy are also going. They're all performing at that halftime event. So there'll be about 30 minutes or so between the two halves of that World Cup final. And on this day in 1972, Elton John reached a major career milestone as Honky Chateau became his first #1 album on the US Billboard 200. It had massive hits like Rocket Man. I think it's going to be a long, long time. Honky Cat, Hercules, and it cemented Elton John amongst rock's biggest stars.
I miss the earth so much. I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight. touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse out of here with home.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
It's 7:15 on the nose. Let's catch up with the roads that crash on the N1 South, Amo.
Yeah, Bongani, in the city of Tshwane is causing about a 20-minute hold-up coming out of the Flying Saucer interchange. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic in Irene along Nelmapiers Road and Main Road. And then if you are traveling in Iguruleni, we've got delays along the N12 and the R24 west between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis interchange. And don't forget those roadworks that are taking place on the N3 North between the Elands interchange and Van Buren Road. At this point, it could take you about 40 minutes to reach Bedford View. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Standing still isn't a strategy. Join Wits Business School's virtual open day Thursday, 16 July at 5:30 p.m. Discover postgraduate diplomas, master's degrees, executive education programs that will equip you to lead with confidence in a changing world. Register today at wbs.ac.za. Wits Business School, sculpting global leaders.
You're up before everyone else. You're building something real. Absa Business Banking, powered by Visa, gives you everything you need to get going. Open a business account in 10 minutes. Buy a point-of-sale device for $799 and get a credit card all in one place. We get it. Running a business is hard. Your banking shouldn't be. Search Business Starter Pack. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The countdown to Food Forward SA's Mandela Day Packing Event 2026 has begun. Join us Friday, 17 July, and spend your 67 minutes making a real difference. Together, we'll pack and sort groceries that will feed thousands of people facing food insecurity across South Africa. Be part of the action. Tickets are on sale now at webtickets.co.za. Food Forward SA, securing quality food, nourishing lives, in association with 702.
We asked rugby legend Frans Holstein what he thinks of the all-new Toyota BZ4X. Frans, would you say the BZ4X is a rugged all-wheel drive SUV?
Yeah.
Cool. Was the acceleration and handling good?
Yeah.
All right. So you think the BZ4X can handle South Africa?
Wat dink jy?
Well, there you have it. The all-new Toyota BZ4X, an all-wheel drive battery electric SUV made to handle South Africa. The BZ4X, it just got real.
What is your business here?
You didn't start your business to play it safe. You took the leap, made the bold move, and now it's time to make the next one. This week, 702 and Budget Business Insurance are giving small businesses the chance to win their share of 100,000 Rand with the Budget BizBucks Bonanza. Enter on primemediaplus.com. Tell us about the boldest move you've ever made in your business and what your next one will be. Then get an obligation-free Budget Business Insurance quote. 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa could call you. Budget Insurance is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
7:18, on to this now. There are those who love to hate her, others hate to love her. She's certainly never far from the headlines. Perhaps now one of South Africa's most outspoken political leaders. I'm talking about none other than the Limpopo Premier, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba. She's often in the headlines because she challenges the status quo and perhaps not as neatly as some might like. She joins us now. Dr. Ramathuba, welcome to 702 Breakfast. Thank you for your time.
Morning, Bongani, and also morning to all your listeners.
Let's talk about perhaps the most recent point of controversy, and without getting into the details of, arguments we've heard many times in recent weeks, you've spoken out about migration and the people or the many groups in the country that have been protesting against illegal migration. And I thought one of the things you said is worth speaking about because you've cautioned against targeting people simply because of how dark-skinned they may be or even speak a different language? Because some of this gets murky, does it not?
Exactly. You have summarized what I have raised and what I've challenged. Because what could have started as an initiative by concerned citizens about the migration crisis facing the people of South Africa, and what could have been a concern that government seems not to be acting in a manner which appears to be protecting the people of this country, get to be hijacked by others who are now bringing a tribalistic tendency, beginning to target certain individuals. And unfortunately, those individuals, based on the language that they speak, majority of them would be coming from the province that I lead. And first and foremost, I have a responsibility to also be the voice of the people of Limpopo. If somebody from Limpopo says I am an acting judge and an advocate, but I went out just to get coffee, and during that process I was demanded an ID, because had I not have my ID, what would have happened to me? Look at this person in terms of their status in the community. If it's happening to such people within the middle to upper strata, what will then happen to ordinary workers from Limpopo faced with the same similar situation? So that's what we are saying. We need to question ourselves to say we have marched, we have raised these issues, government has responded, president called, addressed the country, appointed the interministerial committee. We are beginning to see work now being done by South African government. Why don't we work with the South African law enforcement agency to deal with this matter decisively?
Premier, some people might say, but hang on, in another viral moment, you were at a healthcare facility in Limpopo, and I remember a particular moment where you challenged an expectant mother who, it appeared, was from Zimbabwe about why she was giving birth at a South African hospital versus one from her country of origin. Some of the people who are doing the things you are criticizing now will say, what's the difference?
Exactly that. Maybe correction. It's somebody who came to the country illegally, not to give birth, but to seek what I called an elective operation on a special project that one has organized to deal with the backlog, surgical backlog. And I'm still going through that a process with the Health Professional Council. But the reason which I'm saying what I'm saying now is that I'm saying my position still stands. There's no way, Bongani, you can be in any other country, anywhere in the world, without your documentation. The law of every country must be respected. Now, at that time, Bongani, I've said we raised these issues in our boardrooms. We raised with the minister at that time. We raised with fellow ambassadors about paying the bill, and we did not get any support or any response. Now we are saying South African government is now agreeing that migration crisis must be resolved. We must improve our border. We are all now agreeing all those issues that we're raising. This is what I'm simply saying.
Okay.
Government is now agreeing with what we are saying.
Premier, how do you respond to the criticism that one of the major entry points in terms of those open borders is, in fact, your province? What responsibility does Limpopo have in playing its role when it comes to making sure that people who are coming into the country have the documents, as you say?
Exactly that. Remember when we raised these issues as Limpopo, even when I was the MEC for Health, it's because the issue of border management, it was never a provincial mandate. Therefore, as a province, you will not have power to can deal with that. You are then forced to wait for what your national government will do. The former minister, former First Minister Mtswali, We met several times with him. He started putting process that we see happening now. He started working on those to try to address the border entry. Where we come in as a province, which is the work that you might have seen we've been doing, is the question that, let's say those who come in the country illegally through whatever means are in the province. What is the law enforcement agency in our province? You might have seen several occasions we've been having roadblocks, and I would personally join, be it the BMA, your Home Affairs, your SAPs, and we'll be arresting people. We'll be trying our best. But the bottom point is that until you deal with those borders, now you have heard the Minister of Public Works, Macpherson, saying he now agrees that that fence, it needs to be addressed. All I'm saying is that what could have been a good initiative, unfortunately now, if it begins to target each other, it's going to take us even far backward in a worse form.
All right, Premier, let's talk about another issue that has arisen recently. One of our ace reporters from the EWN team has just returned from Burkersfort in Limpopo, where a community there struggles to cross from one side of a torrential river to the other to access the only clinic in that vicinity. And it's just such a sad story. Some chaps came together. They put together some logs, some corrugated iron, some sticks to make a makeshift bridge. And now they're charging people desperate to access a primary healthcare facility money to cross the river. And this is known to the authorities. How did we get here?
I think when the story was sent to me, I think it was on Monday, I communicated with the local mayor there, and he gave me the story, but I also indicated that he must go. I've also directed my team, and I will be visiting that particular area immediately as soon as.
I guess I'm asking you, Premier, because
but
the local.
Now, I want to respond.
No, I just want to give you some context. I'll give you time to respond. I'm asking you this question because the local officials in that community say they have escalated to province and they have escalated to higher ups to make sure that that situation is resolved, and it hasn't yet. So this particular example perhaps may be new to you, but the issue itself of there not being a bridge there has been known for some time. That's what I'm trying to drive at.
Yes, I want to respond to that. To say that when the matter was reported to me on Monday, I did all that, and there is response. This is a village which apparently has got around a population of around 750, if I'm not mistaken. Now that village, that river, if you look at it, it's a long river that goes through a number of villages. There is a road that has been constructed with a proper bridge, which unfortunately the community feels it's a long distance to have to go to travel that particular route. Hence, because they wanted a shortcut, especially during this period of initiations, then they constructed that, which is unacceptable. And then on the issue of the clinic, I have directed the Department of Health, because they said to me they do have a mobile clinic like we do in a number of villages where we don't have fixed clinic. That goes to that village twice a month, which we have now escalated to say, let's find a way on getting the mobile clinic to be there on a weekly basis. But you see, even if you look at the national norms, a clinic must be within a radius of between 7 and 10 kilometers. So that clinic which they are referring to, they are going to, it is within that particular national norm. However, we are saying we've already augmented to say, because of communities don't want to use that a bridge which it's safe, which is well constructed, they want to use this.
Yeah.
Let's have
maybe there's some lesson,
mobile clinics.
Premier. Maybe there are lessons to be learned about making sure that even when we do provide facilities like a bridge, we do so in places that the community will access them the easiest. Perhaps one more question, one more point of controversy. You've made comments about Ben 10s, and that has sparked something of a national conversation. Some have applauded you for speaking frankly. Others say this wasn't appropriate for a premier to say. Why did you think it was important to raise this issue publicly? And do you think that women in leadership face different personal and professional pressures than their male counterparts?
It's true. Women do receive that pressure. But let me give you a quick minute context of why I said that in public.
As quickly as you can, please.
Yes, we built a house to this single mother who had 3 kids and gave conjoint. And our experience, we once did that. A month later, the house, we found a man there who chased even the kids. Then when I was advising her to say, look, this is what you need to understand, the house belongs to the children. At the back of my mind, I know the public will say, you buy, because these people are poor, you give them a house, you even dictate conditions. I then say to her, let me give you a clear illustration. It's not only women from the working class or poor background who fall victims of romantic scams. Even us in leadership, we have seen our downfall. And it's not only the Ben 10, by the way. It's a question of men in our lives would want, when you are a premier, you got that young man or even old, the man already now start to see himself as a premier. And I said, most of these romantic scams comes immediately when you are appointed on a senior position. All of a sudden, you will even be confused to think you are now Miss South Africa when you have not even done
Premier,
any plastic surgery.
I just want to understand, because we covered the story of the conjoined twins on this show. We even spoke to Dr. Shifularo, who had led that surgery. Are you saying that you provided a home for the family and the mother was then kicked out, or the family were kicked out by...
No. I'm saying I have an experience of a woman from another, when I was in health, who had 9 children.
Different story.
Yes. Then I built a house in Vleefontein for her with 9 children plus grandchildren. There were 17 staying in one room. 3 months later, the son called me and said, MEC, come and see your house. We are being kicked out. My mother has married another man. Now that man now is owning that house. So that is what we are saying. Because this woman did not have a home, no man saw her as a potential wife. Even this one, she's not immune. That now that she has moved out of her family with the parents, with the kids, she might be, as much as I said, you are now appointed a mayor, you now all of a sudden have become a beautiful rose flower to attract even insects that are not necessary going to bring. Yeah, that's what I'm simply saying, to say women need to be careful. We are not saying women must not be involved in relationships, but we're saying your romantic issues must be separated from power that we are giving you. Make your own mistake as a premier and then apologize for your mistake or correct your mistakes, not because somebody would be dictating to your MECs, this tender must go to this one must go.
Gotcha.
Whether you like it or not,
all right,
it is happening.
All right, we've got no more time left, but I appreciate your time talking to us this morning. That's Dr. Poppy Ramathuba, the Premier of Limpopo.
EWN EWN Business.
Not a Ben 10, but is very serious about business news. Matteo Kharipe, what do you have at this hour?
At this hour, the rand are keeping quite steady, 16.35 against the US dollar, 18 rand 70 against the euro, 21 rand 90 against the British pound. Price of gold is lower at $4,027 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,630. Brent crude up 0.5% at $85 a barrel. Full bulletin after 8.
This Eyewitness News brought to you by Khalix. Khalix, for the businessman who knows what he wants. Apologies for the delay. Sfiso Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Former Police Minister Fikile Mbalula is expected to testify at the TRC Cases Commission of Inquiry today. Mbalula was in the position between 2017 and 2018. He is expected to answer questions on whether he was among those who may have contributed to delays in the prosecution of some apartheid-era related crimes. So his successor, Bheki Cele, told the commission yesterday that he may have delayed progress because he was uncomfortable with SAPS paying the legal fees of former apartheid officers.
How could government be obligated to fund through taxpayers' money, including taxes paid by the very people that were victims, black people, the litigation cost of those who committed crimes against humanity?
More than 1,000 arrests have been made in the 3 months since the South African National Defence Force was deployed to gang hotspots across the Western Cape as parts of Operation Prosper. Police say the suspects were arrested for murder, attempted murder, firearm and drug-related offences since the multi-agency operation was launched in April. The intervention, which brings together SAPS, SANDF and the City of Cape Town's law enforcement agencies, is focused on 17 high-crime precincts across the province. But fatal shootings continue to plague communities, with more than 40 people killed in suspected gang-related attacks since the deployment began. Carlo Peterson has more.
Western Cape Police spokesperson Andre Trout says 1,054 arrests were made during Operation Prosper interventions over the past 3 months. Trout says the deployment has contributed to reductions in several categories of serious and violent crime.
The operation continues to focus resources on identified crime hotspots and ongoing intelligence-led interventions aimed at reducing violent crime.
A review of reported shootings since April indicates that at least 40 people have been killed in suspected gang-related attacks across the province. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the murder of March and March Gauteng leader Andile Somgaqa. He was shot in the driveway of his home in Greenfield earlier this month, but he succumbed to his injuries last Thursday. March and March has been spearheading anti-illegal immigrant demonstrations in some parts of the country. Police spokesperson Athenda Mate says the motive for the shooting is not yet known.
We are committed to conducting a thorough investigation to establish the circumstances surrounding this murder and to ensure accountability. Meanwhile, the acting National Commissioner has issued a stern warning to individuals and groups who continue to intimidate, harass and perpetrate violence against foreign nationals, stating that such actions are unlawful and will not be tolerated.
And 12 of the 13 victims of a deadly wildfire that swept through southern Spain were foreign nationals. Authorities completed post-mortem examinations yesterday. Officials say 7 were from the UK, 3 from Belgium, 1 each from France and the US, and the last victim was a Spanish citizen. Fire broke out last Thursday on the southern eastern province of Almeria, which is home to many foreign residents near the Mediterranean coast. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South. That's in Centurion, the city of Tshwane. An accident reported right near Border Avenue causing delays from the Flying Saucer turnoff. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South. This is just as you approach the Proof Plus interchange. Another accident there right near the Proof Plus turnoff causing delays from Sefako Makhato exit.
At the top story this hour, former Police Minister Fikile Mbalula is expected to testify at the TRC Cases Commission today.
Every visit to Khalix is an investment you make in yourself, your business and your bottom line, because a well-fitted business suit says you're competent, respected, disciplined. You are a Khalix man and everybody wants to do business with you. So pop in and discover everything from shirts, footwear, accessories to match, plus a tailoring service to ensure the perfect fit. And remember, nothing says you mean business quite like a Khalix business suit, hey? Khalix, for the businessman Who knows what he wants?
Whether you're following every match or just the ones that matter most, stay connected to 702 Cape Talk and EWN.co.za to stay connected to the world's greatest game.
Smart business moves mean more cash flow. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Dr. Fahim from Matrix Dental.
We were with our previous insurers for many years prior to the switch. We found that Outsurance really understood our business needs. We are happy with our premiums. I wish we had switched sooner.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Running an NPO is challenging, but proving your credibility to donors doesn't have to be. Izinga Assist, South Africa's leading NPO verification platform, follows a rigorous process in awarding your organization with a trusted 5-star rating and official digital certification. Get verified and become visible to thousands of donors by joining Izinga Assist today at izassist.org. Doing good, done better. Proudly supported by Primedia Cares.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Incredible Mazda moments of wonder await around every scenic twist and turn at 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Because on Sunday, 26th July, you get to discover 5 Mazda wonder experiences on the 8-kilometer route. From a stunning Japanese garden to a world of color. Visit one and share your wonder moments on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Then tag and follow at Mazda SA using hashtag Mazda SA. And you could win your share of 50,000 Rand thanks to Mazda, where wonder awaits. Official vehicle partner of 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Yo, Bongani. Good morning. I was sipping a cup of coffee while listening to the interview. I concur with, the mayor. I think also our people, we like shortcuts. And those shortcuts are the ones that are actually creating this story. However, I think the mayor have seen that, we prefer actually shortcuts, or the people prefer shortcuts, so therefore they must just build them a walking bridge, a proper walking bridge. I think that's what the people will appreciate. Kaleboga Bongani, beautiful show.
Poppy. You were on this path, the path that Julius warned us about. You were one of the forerunners in this anti-immigrant issues, and look where we are. Look where we are, Poppy. My word.
Bongani, I absolutely love the Premier's outlook. She is 100% correct. That is indeed the experiences of women. Men exploit the need for women to feel loved and seen.
I said some love to hate her, others hate to love her.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. A chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer. Then later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. Zolisa in Centurion has the answer for today. Zolisa, what is today's answer?
Today's answer is 20%.
20%. Ooh, there's a bit of a tough one, Zolisa. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance. He's made it really tough, hasn't he? Zolisa says the answer is 20%. What could the question be? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, let's start with rugby.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's also a thing.
Still going. And Wales captain Dewey Lake has a groin injury. He's out for Saturday's Nations Championship match with the Springboks in Durban. Ryan Elias on standby with Jack Morgan ready to lead the team. 20-year-old Vusi Moya will make his Springbok debut, but says his mom is not going to be there to watch.
So my sister's playing her first hockey tournament, so I think my mom decided to go and watch my sister play. My mom sent me a message telling me that she will be there in spirit, so that's also very nice to know. So I'm very excited.
Yeah,
that is absolutely amazing.
Parenting at another level.
No, but his mom has chosen to go to the sisters' hockey tournament.
Because it's her first one.
And he's making his debut for the Springboks.
Yes.
You know what would happen in most cases,
Yes.
right? That is absolutely, that's just,
So your mom's like,
still
sorry,
my beating heart.
you haven't started all season, and I promised your sister that you were that
Going
I'd
to
go
the
watch
hockey
her play
tournament.
hockey.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're running on for the Bucks.
I hope she plays for, the national hockey team or something in the
Well, she
future.
probably, I don't know, I'll have to find the story.
Wouldn't that be
but,
amazing?
But she will, but I'm sure the mom just went, you'll play again for the Springboks, it's fine.
Love her, love her, love her.
In cricket, India thrashing England by 6 wickets in the first ODI. Gill retired, hurt on 80. Man of the match, Patel unbeaten on 57 as India chased down 259 with 28 balls to spare.
The EWN World Cup Desk. The latest scores, the biggest stories, and the moments everyone's talking about.
A spectacular Spanish display. Spain, the European champions, will play the World Cup final. Mbappe and France retreat.
Well, Spain stayed calm in beating a lackluster France 2-0 at Dallas Stadium. A slow first half swung in Spain's favour when Digna fouled Yamal in the box. Sarazabal slotted in the penalty. Spain maintained control and got their second after the break when Porro played a give and go with Olmo before side-footing it in. Spain could have had a third, but Yamal was offside. Captain Rodri.
We're showing a character of being so mature in certain moments and in big moments. And this is for me the most important thing, to wait your moment in the game, to don't get crazy because they punish you or they make an action or whatever.
France captain Kylian Mbappe is prepared for the criticism.
At the end of the day, you take all the glory when you win. When you don't win, you have to take. At the end, it's part of the game. It's part of my game. It's part of my life. And as a captain, I have to take all the responsibility. And I have no problem with that. We wanted to go to the final. We didn't go. So now we have to go and take what the people do to us.
So I'll do what Mandy asked of Mawande Mateza. Predictions? England versus Argentina?
Oh, no. I'm just going to go, somebody's going to win 1-0. Actually, somebody's going to win 3-0. Let's just go right out.
All right.
So tonight, England and Argentina are playing the second semi-final at 9. Safe to say there are few games in world football that have this kind of turbulent history. Tonight's semi-final comes 40 years after that quarter-final in 1986, where Argentina... Okay, he said it. Where Argentina won 2-1 with 2 goals from Maradona, including the famous...
Hand of God.
And when Maradona punched the ball into the net. In 98, David Beckham got a red card for kicking out at Simeone as Argentina went on to win on penalties. And then England finally got their revenge in 2002. They beat Argentina thanks to a Beckham penalty.
If you want to read this whole history, there's a fantastic piece in the Daily Maverick written by Dr. Terence McNamee, who traces all of that history, including, of course, the Falklands War issue. England versus Argentina. It's going to be a humdinger.
Well, Argentina's Alexis McAllister says they're taking it one game at a time.
We don't feel any pressure, to be honest. We understand this is a World Cup, this is a semi-final, and we have the experience of playing a semi-final of a World Cup before, so that hopefully helps. But as I said, it's going to be a tough game because they're a really good team. We really respect them, and we will see today.
And Erling Haaland returned to Norway carrying a 12,000 rand taxidermied raccoon holding a whiskey bottle bought on one of his days off from Wild Bill's Western store in Dallas. Thanks to the Haaland effect, the taxidermy animal has now sold out online, prompting the store to fast-track international shipping options to handle a sudden wave of worldwide orders, making it the most iconic souvenir at this World Cup. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
From kickoff to the final whistle, this is the EWN World Cup Desk.
As we gear up for the 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Joburg, Sunday 26 July, we're inviting you to help us make a difference this winter. This is so worthy. So 702 Weekend Breakfast with Gugs Mhlungu, together with MES Homeless Shelter, are running a clothing drive, and we want you to be a part of it. So if you've got pre-loved clothing, warm jackets, jerseys, blankets, even toiletries or non-perishable food items, please donate them. You can drop them off at our 702 studios at 15 Fredman Drive in Sandton. Together, we can bring warmth and dignity to those who need it most, and every item makes a difference. MES is a registered not-for-profit company that has been changing the hearts of the inner cities of Joburg, Cape Town, Gqeberha, and Kempton Park since 1986.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care. We cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is not a medical scheme and the cover is not the same. FlexiCare is underwritten by Auto & General, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, an authorized FSP.
We asked rugby legend Francois Steyn what he thinks of the all-new Toyota BZ4X. France, would you say the BZ4X is a rugged all-wheel drive SUV?
Yeah.
Cool. Was the acceleration and handling good?
Yeah.
All right. So you think the BZ4X can handle South Africa?
Wat dink jy?
Well, there you have it. The all-new Toyota BZ4X, an all-wheel drive battery electric SUV made to handle South Africa. The BZ4X. It just got real.
The Nedbank Business Ignite on 702, looking for small businesses turning real challenges into solutions. So one business is going to walk away with 200,000 Rand in cash, complemented by strategic business support, mentorship and growth tools. This Friday, we'll be announcing this year's winner of the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. Nedbank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 20%. Titus, you're in Joburg. What's the question?
Good morning, Bongani. The question is, how much percentage did President Donald Trump said he would charge the ships that go through the Strait of Hormuz?
And then he changed his mind, didn't he? Of course, his own Secretary of State had said, you can't do that. Those are international waterways. And Trump said he was going to do it anyway, only to say, no, he's not going to do that. Titus, congratulations, my friend. 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702.
Won't be able to happen. No, I never reached that conclusion, but we're hitting them very heavy tonight, as you know. We're hitting them. We have tremendous amounts of ammunition. We have numbers that we haven't had in years. And we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens. But we're knocking out all of their offensive capability, and we're controlling the straits. We're putting the blockade back. And it's a blockade not for anybody but Iran. In other words, anybody doing business with Iran can't go through. Everyone else will be able to go through. So it's a blockade. It's a very strong blockade. The blockade was probably more effective even than hitting them, but I think the combination is the thing that really does it. But you think a deal is still possible? You think they'll return to the... Yeah, I think a deal is possible, sure, I do.
Donald Trump, the US president. Now, this winter, the price to refill your gas heater may have gone up, along with everything else. But switch to Outsurance and you could actually drop your car insurance premium. You could save big, like 58-year-old Loretta, who saves a whopping 479 Rand a month on a 2017 BMW 320. Don't pay more than you need to. Get a quote to switch and save with Outsurance today. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
This Wednesday, July 15th, you could win an estimated 22 million Rand total Lotto jackpot. That's 17 million for Lotto, 1 million for Lotto Plus One, and 4 million for Lotto 5 Max. Catch the live draw this Wednesday at 9 p.m. on ETV and SABC. You could become SA's next multi-millionaire. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Caesar Kaya.
We Buy Cars has been trusted since 2001, and whether you're buying or selling, We Buy Cars makes that process simple and seamless. Visit webuycars.co.za to complete the Sell My Car form for an offer, or browse through thousands of vehicles of all shapes and sizes ready to buy or sell or trade in. Visit webuycars.co.za or one of their branches nationwide.
Peregrine Capital presents Brian Habana's Count to 100.
In my journey to 100, it started with my first cap, then my second, 10th, 50th, 90th, 99th.
Brian Habana, his 100th international test.
You get to 100 one decision at a time. For 28 years, Peregrine Capital has applied that same discipline to turn 1 million rand into 100 million. Peregrine Capital. Invest in performance. An authorized FSP. Past performance non-indicative of future performance. T's and C's apply.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
I can't think of two bigger action hero movie stars, certainly not from the 80s, than Sly and Arnie.
Yeah, I mean, they were the ultimate, weren't they? Hey? So there was quite a bit of competition between the two. And I mean, they were mates, obviously, but whoever had a movie coming out, they would try to top one, you know, and do better than the other and have more guns and more kills, etc., etc. So I found this chat that Arnie and Sly were having on a TMZ podcast about their competition and their movies. Let's take a listen.
Where we ended up kind of like, well, you killed 28 people in the movie. I killed 32.
I got to top that. So body count mattered.
So it was now the body count. And then it was kind of like, well, what was your body fat? You know, well, I was down to 7%, I said. And I said, I was down to 10%. So it became a competition with the body. And then it was kind of like, then he started using machine guns that were kind of like huge machine guns. I was running after him. He was not running after me. So I said, when we did Predator, I said, you got to get a machine gun that is normally mounted on a tank or on a helicopter. When Arnold, you can never hold it. I said, we figure out a way. I said, don't worry about it. I got to have a bigger gun, a bigger machine gun than Sly used in Rambo. So this is how it went. So then he killed, 80 people, that I had to kill 87 people.
And you got sucked into it too, because the difference between Rambo 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, you got bigger guns, more body count, the whole thing.
Get to the chopper now.
I'll be back.
Yeah, so I mean, I think in terms of friendships, a little bit of competition between the two of you is healthy. But there can be a line that's crossed where I think if you are a friend and you say, let's say, you buy a X brand of car, and then your friend goes out and buys one up on you, I think it can be quite exhausting to be friends with, or somebody who's always just got to outdo you in something, right? So when it comes to your friendships, how competitive are you with your friends? And is there a specific line that shouldn't be crossed when it comes to competition with friends?
Ooh, is competition in friendships healthy or toxic? Let us know.
EWN Traffic.
Now, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got roadworks taking place along the N12 and the R24 West, causing heavy delays out of Edenville Road. There's also queuing traffic, in fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Airlines Interchange and Van Buren Road due to more roadworks. I'll have more details coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
To save money, you stock up on 2-for-1 vitamin specials at the pharmacy. So why not spend 10 minutes getting an Outsurance car insurance quote, like 48-year-old Adam, who saves
1,803 Rand. Big drop. It's worth going to Outsurance.
That's an awesome 1,803 Rand saving on Adam's 2020 Audi Q3. Why wait? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance saves 36-year-old Jill 471 Rand on her 2025 Hyundai i20.
471 Rand. I still can't believe, hey? Get Outsurance extra pampering money.
Enjoy benefits like panic assistance that sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. Get a quote to switch and save with Outsurance today. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insured FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
702.
702. Feedback.
With Siamtanda Matiso.
Siamtanda Matiso, you're very competitive.
No, I'm not. I'm
You're
very
not?
emotional to be competitive. So I don't like competition. That's why I don't like board games. I can't do it 30 seconds. I just don't do it. But when it comes to friendships, so there are some things that could inspire. Like if your friend is getting a degree or a diploma and they're encouraging you, I feel like that's inspirational. Unless they're putting you down when they do that.
Who always reminds us that we all fell off the wagon for our gym goals?
But Hung!
Who always reminds us
No.
that she is still on the straight and narrow?
Wait, I haven't. Clive and Bongani, we once went to Benmore and they saw these people selling exercising things. They were so excited. They were like, yo, we need to buy these. Bongs, I can bet you're still in the box. You didn't open it.
What other feedback do you have? What is 702 Lander saying about the serious stuff?
Listen, Bongs, we're having a situation here. It's not a bad thing. I mean, we're getting people entering the Whiz Quiz competition, but they're still doing it the old way. They're doing it via sending us voice notes.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, you can do so on our website, Prime Media Plus, and the kids should be either 10, 11, 12, or 13.
Right.
Not under that. So I just wanted to remind you guys that. And it should be their decision, please, not the parents' decision.
Don't force them.
Please don't force them because we can hear it when we're pre-testing these kids. So that's it. Please, 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 please. Also, you asked that question. Convenience has made life easier. But then there are things that we miss. And people were talking about missing sending letters through a post office, missing buying stamps, landline. And I'm like, guys, am I the only one who's happy about the convenience
Do you know
that we
the other
have?
thing people miss?
What?
Writing.
Why?
Writing. Because people type everything.
I feel like that's a nice thing. You guys have bad handwritings, Bongani and
That's
Amu.
why you have a bad handwriting, because you no longer. I've got a great
handwriting. Clearly you don't know me.
See,
and that's the feedback.
Again.
This is EWN.
Ramaphosa is in the High Court to fight impeachment proceedings, and the safety at a special needs school comes under the spotlight following a rape ordeal in the Vaal. Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. The Western Cape High Court will today hear arguments in an application by President Cyril Ramaphosa to stop Parliament's impeachment proceedings against him. Ramaphosa wants the court to first review the Section 89 panel report that has given rise to the inquiry linked to the theft of US dollars from his Palapala farm in 2020. He has argued that he will suffer irreparable harm if Parliament continues with impeachment proceedings. Lindsay Dentlinka reports.
Ramaphosa has asked the court to set aside the Section 89 panel report, arguing that it's fatally flawed. He says he's been left no choice but to file an interdict application after Speaker Toka Didiza refused to stay proceedings. She's indicated to the court that Parliament will abide by whatever ruling it makes. But Chairperson of the Impeachment Committee, Makashule Ghana, says he will carry forth the mandate from the committee to reject the President's application.
And we'll continue our work in the Impeachment Committee, and it is for that reason that we have opposed the application.
The ATM, which initiated impeachment proceedings against the President, will also oppose the application. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Kat Matlala is expected to appear at the Matlala Commission today for his much-anticipated testimony. The Commission has described Matlala as central to its investigation of criminal and political infiltration into the country's justice system. Matlala is currently behind bars, facing charges ranging from attempted murder, fraud and corruption. Tabiso Goba has more.
Vusumuzi Kat Matlala wears a lot of hats, from tender tycoon, alleged underworld crime boss, and political fixer. His name has been mentioned countless times since the Matlala Commission began its hearings last September. Matlala has been implicated in paying off some of the most senior cops in the SAPS, from gifting Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya a herd of impalas to a 70,000 rand cash loan to organized crime boss Richard Shibiri. He's also showered SAP's section head for quality management, Rachel Macheng, with money and gifts. However, she told the commission these were not bribes but romantic gestures since they were having an affair. It's also been alleged Matlala used his influence to get people arrested, access confidential police documents, and score multi-million rand tenders. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
Please note the following story contains sensitive details. The family of a 13-year-old boy allegedly raped by a fellow learner at a special needs school in the Vaal is questioning whether teachers are able to protect children who require additional support. The boy was reportedly raped at Krugerland School, a sporting facility, last month. The incident followed another alleged sexual violation involving his twin in February. The family says it's received little help from the school. Meanwhile, the Gauteng Education Department says psychosocial support was provided and the children have been taken out of the school. Koskona Malingamnisi has the story.
The family alleges both boys who attended Krugerland School in the Vaal were sexually violated in separate incidents this year. The latest incident in June, involving allegations that one of the twins was raped, has resulted in the arrest of a fellow learner. Police have confirmed the suspect has already made a court appearance and is due back in court on the 17th of July. The family says the arrest is a significant development, but it does little to erase the trauma they have endured over the past several months. Their mother, whose identity EWN is withholding to protect the children, says the emotional scars left by the incidents will remain with her forever.
We will never be the same until I die. I'll never be the same. You know, when we were there, the vacation, I was asking all my kids, please don't leave him to go alone anywhere, because I know that victims of this, they normally get it the second time and the third time. So we can't leave him alone. We can't have him be a child.
The Gauteng Education Department has confirmed it is investigating the alleged rape and says the accused learner has been suspended pending a disciplinary process. For the family, however, accountability extends beyond the criminal case. The boy's mother is calling for systems meant to protect vulnerable learners to be strengthened.
I was puzzled when I was talking to this investigating officer, when she said to me, ma'am, the number of cases of this sexual assault or harassment or rape that we get from that school is amazing. Why is that already told the management? But you know why is this? There's lack of discipline in the school. Management and leadership is not there.
As investigations continue and the criminal matter returns to court this Friday, the family says it remains focused on helping the twins heal from the trauma they have experienced. Koskona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
And the Health Ministry has vowed it's already monitoring travelers arriving from high-risk Ebola areas. The department says it has begun a collaborative effort between the public and private sectors as part of preparations. Health officials have been integrating into the Border Management Authority to screen arriving passengers. The virus has been mostly reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda, prompting authorities across the region to review their preparedness of any imported cases. Mongezi Koko takes a look.
Upon arrival, travelers are checked for symptoms associated with Ebola, including high fever, vomiting, diarrhea, and unexplained bleeding. Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi says the system is designed to identify possible cases early and refer them for more medical assessment if necessary.
We have got what we call port health workers. These are workers in the Department of Health who have been transferred to the BMA. They are checking every time a person arrives here.
Meanwhile, the National Institute for Communicable Diseases is also preparing its scientists for appropriate handling and testing of Ebola. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,053.90 an ounce. The rand is at 16.37 to the dollar, 21.92 to the pound, 18.70 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $85.74 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North between the Yelands Interchange and Van Buren Road. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike North between Glenhove Road and Corlett Drive.
And in your sport, England and Argentina battle at 9 o'clock tonight for a chance to play Spain in the World Cup final. If you missed it last night, Spain beat France 2-0. And Wales captain Dewey Lake in doubt for Saturday's game with the Springboks.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23. The top story in EWN this hour. The Western Cape High Court will today hear arguments in an application by President Cyril Ramaphosa to stop Parliament's impeachment proceedings against him.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 8 o'clock, we're dealing with a number of issues this morning, including, of course, an earlier conversation with Professor Musa Xulu, who's a cultural analyst. We unpack the latest controversies surrounding King Misizulu and, I suppose, the wider question about the role of traditional leaders in a constitutional democracy. Are we really all equal before the law? And how does the king berate his wife in that manner and get up on public platforms to condemn gender-based violence? Popi Ramathuba, the Premier of Limpopo, often in the headlines, not always for the best of reasons, her critics would argue. What did you make of her stance on various issues? Kawazela wants to know, Muteo, are you competitive in your friendships? And what do you compete with your friends about? And where's that fine line between a healthy competition in friendships that propels you forward or when it becomes toxic?
No, I don't think I'm just thinking about what we compete on. I think we once tried having the number of kids, and then that didn't work out. It got tough along the way, so we stopped doing that. But we don't have any.
You don't play golf together. You don't run together.
Golf will all suck. So
games.
The board games recently. I found out how some of them are very, very competitive. It can get quite tricky.
Morning, Bongani. This is Selma from Roodepoort. My son and his friends in high school all were in the top 10, top 5, whatever, right through their high school time. And eventually they all went to the UJ together to do the same very difficult degree, which is actually 2 degrees in 4 years. And they all helped each other to try and get through this tremendous pile of work. And they're still best friends to this day, even though they don't see each other anymore because they all went their separate ways. But that is what healthy competition is about. Thanks for a lovely show. Bye.
Oh, thank you for the lovely voice note. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. They competed and they helped each other. Amo, you don't strike me as the very competitive type.
No. Just amongst my siblings, I always just like to tease them that they may be older than me, but I look the oldest because of my weight, and they are more, they're quite thin. So we compete about those small little things, not really hectic things. Yeah.
Let's talk.
Thanks for bringing the Premier on the show, Bongani. She is just, she's great. I like her. I really, really like her. Thanks. Bye.
Morning, Bongani. The Premier of Limpopo, she's a hypocrite. Whenever we have meetings, she knows that our hospitals are under-resourced and over supply of illegal foreigners. She's aware we do have meetings with her. She's just a hypocrite. Maybe she's under pressure of this illegal immigrants thing. She's just a hypocrite.
Bangal Samaya Chulendes, what an interview. I had to come in at the end because you can't predict how people must live their lives. I understand exactly what she means, especially women in power that are being abused, but we can't put a blanket approach. I mean, seriously, now you want to tell people how to live their lives because you are now the leader to give them, opportunities or to give them houses, and now you want to tell them, and I think she stepped the line there, unfortunately. I like the Premier. We can guide people, we can advise people, but we can't tell them how to live their lives. That, for me, was just out. Thank you guys for a great show. Shadi, Kempton Park in KZN. Cheers.
Morning, Bongani. Hey, kubike la ngaphandle, as like Premier Ramathuba is saying, Popi Ramathuba, saying that sometimes a woman premier, she's saying sometimes if a woman premier has a Benten, the Benten also sees himself as a premier. Okay, bye-bye.
Bongani, good morning. I like this Popi Ramathuba very much. She knows her story. She speaks until you want to stop her. She knows her English. She was a real doctor. Yo, she can speak until you want to stop her, you even can't. Yo.
I like it when she does those, spot checks at healthcare facilities and she catches nurses. Wasn't there a video the other day she was catching nurses having tea at 8 o'clock in the morning, not serving patients? I like those unannounced visits. Amos, she says that women leaders are subjected to a different standard when it comes to how they are judged. Do you think there's a lesson to be learnt in her warnings about Ben 10s?
I think there is a lesson to be learned, and I'm sure she's speaking from experience from either her peers. You know, she's seen this happening. She's seen how the story unfolds. You know what I mean? And therefore, she's giving a warning. So I don't think it's fair for Shadi to say she mustn't tell people how to live their lives. But she's seen the end result of having Ben 10s, and she's giving advice.
Mateo?
I think it's fair warning, given that you are now a person who is in power, probably financially more well off. You should be protecting your assets, including getting into marriage regimes. You should be keeping that in mind and not only the romantic part of it, to say, keep your assets, keep your power, keep the amount of work that you've put in to your own life by protecting yourself from
I found it extraordinary
even younger partners.
I found it extraordinary that she says this home was donated to this family. At some point, there were 17 of them. I think 9 children.
Yeah.
And as soon as they were in a home with bricks and mortar, there was a new man in the picture who wanted the kids out. And mom was okay with that. Yeah, ne?
EWN Traffic.
8:15, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got an accident in Calvin. It's on the M1 South. It happened right near Marlborough Drive. Delays coming out of the Baklu interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 North approaching the Baklu turnoff, coming out of the Sunning Hill area. Then if you are traveling in Roodepoort, we've got some delays along Christian de Wet Road. This is just as you come out of Wilgerud Road. Please be on the lookout there. We'll have more updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
15 minutes watching funny dog videos goes by quickly, especially when they're wearing those head pieces scaring the cats, and the cats jump. They break the TV, they break the vases, they break everything else. But 15 minutes stuck in traffic, well, that feels like torture, does it not? Fortunately, Outsurance pointsmen save the day. Heroes in green and purple, easing traffic congestion for 20 years and helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Josie.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
17 minutes after 8 o'clock, in conversation now with FNB. Explore the Retirement Reality Gallery, where retirement meets art. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your retirement readiness? FNB and Wealth Investments are launching the 4th edition of the FNB Retirement Insights Survey. This is the 16th of July, happening at the Goodman Gallery, so starting tomorrow. And it's all about tracking what South Africans think and how they plan for retirement. We're joined now by Samukelo Zwane, who is the product head for FNB Wealth and Investments. Samukelo, a very good morning to you, and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to the listeners.
Retirement planning is never an unimportant conversation, is it?
Definitely. I mean, it's quite critical, and it's very, very pertinent, especially in our context in South Africa, where we have, rising costs of living, financial shocks, which actually affect, people's preparedness for retirement. I mean, over 51% of retirees say, the rise in living costs were their biggest financial shock. When they get to retirement, they find that, what the fate for retirement is actually not sufficient for them to meet, their retirement expectations. And, you find that, 27% of those who were actually getting to retirement, they felt like, they should have actually paid off the debts, and that was their plan. But then they didn't manage to actually pay off their debt. So that goes into planning and how you're actually preparing for retirement. And we're seeing a big, gap between, the expectations when it comes to retirement as well as the reality. So people have certain expectations in terms of their retirement, but then the reality hits hard. That's why we see that less than 10% of these retirees actually retiring comfortably.
So I'm curious about how you have turned this very important conversation and are sparking it through art, this immersive exhibition at the Goodman Gallery. And it's, as you say, designed to spark a conversation, changing perceptions, behaviors, and financial realities. How are you hoping this immersive exhibition will spark that conversation?
Yeah, so I think we've done this survey for the last 4 years, and we've delivered it to the public with the different insights, which are actually, talking towards people's preparedness for retirement. However, we thought this time that, maybe we should use a different feel, a different way for people to actually picture retirement, to make it more realistic, to actually bring more emotions to it. That's why we commissioned some artists to actually interpret, our statistics in an artistic manner. So when you go to Goodman Gallery, you will see how these artists are interpreting the impact of inflation, when it comes to retirement. I mean, just one of the artists actually showing you that, if you can afford a bag of Millie Meal right now, 20 years down the line, you'll probably be able to afford, 1 cup of that bag. So that hits harder than us telling you that, inflation is going to eat into your retirement savings. It also breaks the barriers because art, inspires or sparks conversation between people. So people start talking and finding ways of actually bridging that gap, making sure that I do not leave out of, a spoon or a cup of Millie Meal instead of leaving over a full bag. So those are the things that we're trying to do to actually bring a different perspective and make people understand and picture this thing that we're talking about, which is retirement readiness.
Samkelo, is it ever too late?
Absolutely not. I mean, if you actually talk to the people who are in retirement, you can actually tell that, they're saying start early and start small. 61% of this retirees are saying, if I actually managed to pay off my debts earlier, I would have actually retired much better. If I actually started saving for retirement, I would have actually retired much better. And some of them are saying, if I actually used advice and used some digital tools for myself to try and prepare for retirement, I would have actually, retired better. And if we talk about digital tools, we'll also be showcasing, some of our digital advice tools that we recently launched at FNB, My Advisor. So those are different tools that help you with budgeting, planning for retirement and all that stuff. So when you come to the Goodman Gallery, those things are there to actually complement what we're talking about from the retirement survey.
It sounds like it's going to be absolutely fun. Samkelo Zwane there is the product head for FNB Wealth and Investment. That exhibition, of course, opening tomorrow at the Goodman Gallery in Rosebank. You can see some of the finest works by South African artists, but also sparking a conversation about financial planning and retirement, because retirement isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It's something you need to be able to see and experience. And that's exactly what FNB's Retirement Reality Gallery will transform insights into an immersive art exhibition, bringing the realities of retirement planning to life.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, is the war on? Is it off? More attacks? More warnings about oil?
Yeah, a fourth night of airstrikes in this particular tranche of military action, and US Central Command is saying it hit dozens of targets during the latest wave, a wave of strikes that lasted 7 hours. That's a lot of sleeplessness for a lot of good Iranians. In return, Iran has also struck back at American sites in Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait. So again, that goes on with the tit for tat. Donald Trump has backed down from his 20% toll on shipping to use the Strait of Hormuz threat. He's seems to think that's not such a good idea, or people have told him it's not. But he's talking about doing business with other Gulf states around and about. Iran, meanwhile, has talked about how if America, again, keeps its blockade going, how not a drop of oil will leave the region, which is quite an interesting take on it. And again, it'll be you and I paying for it. Listen, it's day 137 of the US/Israel-Iran war, 137 days. And I'm pretty sure 136 days ago, Donald Trump told us that Iran was degraded as a military force. And yet there they are, still striking back. And frankly, who can blame them?
Oh, gosh. Wars, of course, being what they are very rarely without atrocities, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you've mentioned this before, and it's been mentioned by plenty of people about what on earth happened on the first day of this war. So the strike on a school that seems to have been done almost certainly accidentally or mistakenly against a school. 175 children and teachers were killed in this attack, essentially a missile that hit a school full on. And seeing the pictures afterwards and hearing the people talking afterwards, just awful, just horrendous. But at no point has there been any admission by anyone that they did it. And surely it would be the US military who did do it. We know that the Pentagon has investigated. Now, a couple of dozen senior senators in the US, including the top Democrat in the Senate Armed Services Committee, has said, no, we need to know what the Pentagon has found out. We need to, if nothing else, apologize for a terrible mistake and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Look at the circumstances of it. Was it human error? Was it a problem with the hardware they were using, for instance? This strike on a girls' school that happened over 4 months ago is just horrendous. Yes, things happen in war, but this can't be let go, can it?
And of course, we want to talk about America's explosive diarrhea problem.
We do, because breakfast is safely behind us. I'm assuming we're not eating. Anyway, we won't go into too many details. Apart from, why would we be talking about a diarrhea problem in the United States? Why would we even mention a bit of food poisoning? We all have our own food poisoning problems. It's because this is extra acute. So it's called cyclosporiasis. It's a parasitic infection that seems to take 2 to 3 weeks to actually show itself. So in other words, you can have the thing in you and not know. It grows inside your gut, essentially. And it's not just one town or one city or one state in America. It's now reached 34 US states and is spreading like wildfire and has infected over 7,000 people so far. And finding the source of it, it's almost certainly come from some infected fruit and vegetables. But we're not talking one strawberry because of how it's spread. So how to stop it, how to find out the source of it, almost impossible. And I guess that Bafana did the right thing in getting out of America pretty sharpish, because who wants to be there for the rest of the World Cup, eh?
If nothing else, let's make the bidet fashionable again. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
However, we will avoid the obvious puns we could say about what kind of country the US might be at this stage. Let's talk about the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. They've launched an investigation into what's happening at the Public Investment Corporation. This is a really worrying story.
Yeah, a dark cloud really over the Public Investment Corporation. The FSCA has launched an investigation into the PIC. According to MoneyWeb, the regulator says events over recent months raise serious questions around whether governance, integrity, accountability and conduct standards are being upheld at the PIC. The PIC, Africa's largest asset manager with around 3.7 trillion rand in assets under management, falls under the regulatory mandate of the FSCA. This is the latest development to hit the PIC, coming a day after its CEO, Patrick Dlamini, was placed under precautionary suspension by the PIC's board following whistleblower allegations of misconduct.
There's 9 out of 11 who voted for this,
Yep.
for the suspension. Gosh, our mining sector hitting a snag?
Yeah, mining production fell 5.4% in May. This came after a strong performance in April. The decline is the first drop in mining activity in 6 months and the biggest since February 2025, highlighting renewed pressure on one of the country's key sectors. The biggest drag came from iron ore production, which fell 12.7%. Coal output also dropping 6.1%, while platinum group metals were down 4.4%. Looking at the month-on-month picture, mining output are falling by 5.2% in May after growing in April, marking the steepest monthly decline since November of 2025.
And how are the markets?
Well, Asian stocks this morning edging higher after that softer than expected U.S. inflation number. Japan's Nikkei up more than 1%. The Topix up 0.5%. South Korea outperformed regional peers with the Kospi surging about 7%. And that's because most of their tech shares were up this morning, including SK Hynix, the chip maker, jumping nearly 13%. Looking at our own market, bit of a rebound for the JSE yesterday, up 0.5%, pushed up by mining shares, which were up 1.7%. The Rand this morning strengthening against the dollar ahead of markets open at 16 Rand 33 against the US dollar, 18 Rand 67 against the euro, and 21 Rand 91 cents against the British pound. Price of gold down 0.5% at $4,032 an ounce, while platinum is up marginally at $1,639. Brent crude up this morning at $85 a barrel. More from Stephen Grotes later this afternoon.
It is a Wednesday, of course, and it means we feature a corporate that cares coming up in this next half an hour. In the meantime, Sfisa Zulu, what do you have?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The Limpopo government says it will intervene after an EWN investigation exposed a dangerous makeshift bridge used by residents in the Fetahomo Tubatsi local municipality. Earlier this week, EWN visited Mafarafara village, where people pay 20 Rand to cross the swaying wooden structure so that they can access the nearest clinic at another village. The bridge was built by community members who say they were left with little choice after years of waiting for improved access to basic services. But speaking on 702 this morning, Premier Popira Ramathuba says government has now taken notice of the matter, adding that a formal bridge already exists, but residents have opted for the shorter route.
A road that has been constructed with a proper bridge, which unfortunately the community feels it's a long distance to have to go to travel because they wanted a shortcut, especially during this period of initiations, which is unacceptable.
Former Police Minister Fikile Mbalula is expected to testify at the TRC Cases Commission of Inquiry today. Mbalula was in the position between 2017 and 2018. He is expected to answer questions on whether he was among those who may have contributed to delays in the prosecution of some apartheid-era related cases. His successor, Bheki Cele, told the commission yesterday that he may also have delayed progress because he was uncomfortable with SAPS paying the legal fees of former apartheid officers.
How could government be obligated to fund through taxpayers' money, including taxes paid by the very people that were victims, black people, the litigation cost of those who committed crimes against humanity?
Electricity and Energy Minister Josienso Ramokgopa is warning that South Africa's multi-billion rand grid expansion won't deliver the economic growth government wants unless industry keeps pace. Ramokgopa says industrialization remains government's energy strategy. The new transmission lines expected to unlock investment, especially in manufacturing, mining and other productive sectors. He says South Africa must tackle critical skill shortages, improve industry readiness and build the technical capacity that's needed to fully benefit from the expanded electricity network. Ramokgopa was speaking at the 2026 Manufacturing Indaba.
Although you have an ambition of domestic production, but for as long as industry is not ready, the skills are not there, the program is dead in the water. It's a stillborn. And that's why there has to be some degree of congruence on how you prepare the industry and the skills to support the build program.
And Iran's Revolutionary Guards say the Hormuz Strait will remain closed until the U.S. ends its acts of aggression, while warning that other regional oil export routes could also become targets. Fighting between the United States and Iran, which began late February, has hampered energy supplies through the Strait of Hormuz, a key transit route for oil and gas shipments from the Gulf. Revolutionary Guards carried out attacks on U.S. military facilities in Bahrain and Kuwait following American strikes on Iranian territory. U.S. officials have previously rejected Iranian assertions that Tehran can control navigation through the strait and have insisted international shipping routes remain open. Trump was asked on Fox News how long he intends to continue attacks on Iran.
They'll continue until I say it's enough. I mean, they'll continue. They've been, the word the military likes to use is degrade. They've been degraded to a very low level. And they have fight. It's like a great boxer. You think you have him beat, and then all of a sudden he comes back and he gives you a shot.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South approaching Olifantsfontein Road in the Midrand area. There's also queuing traffic in Sunninghill along the N1 North approaching the Baklu interchange.
The top story this hour, the Limpopo government says it will intervene after an EWN investigation exposed a dangerous makeshift bridge that's used by residents in the Fitahomo Tobatse local municipality.
Time. When you're a kid, it moves slower than a sloth trying to get through airport security. There is just so much of it. Skip forward a few years to your 20s. Time is still your friend. It says have some balance. Go party and have fun. Then your 30s hit. And time suddenly steps on the accelerator like it's trying to catch a traffic light before it goes red. 40s. Now time is moving faster than your 10-year-old on a sugar high. 50. You're desperately trying to save as much as you can, but time is moving so fast. And all you can think is, where did all the time go? That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time for some much-deserved you time. Now, isn't that a compelling enough reason to invest? Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
Right, gang. Are we all in? Liam? Here. Ethan? Here. Andrew? Here. Luca? Luca?
Yeah.
Amelia?
Yeah.
Violet?
Yeah, Mom.
Introducing the Chungun CS75 Pro. A powerful turbocharged engine, modern safety features, and room with 7 seats. For everyone.
Hey, that's not everyone. You forgot Choppy, Mom.
Oh, Choppy. The all-new CS75 Pro.
Chang'an. Driven to evolve.
If you're a fan of the beautiful game, you'll recognize this. And this. But what about this? It's your chance to score big time. Win your share of up to 2 million rand with Standard Bank. It's game day every day. To enter, open and use any qualifying Standard Bank account, in-app or in branch. Already a Standard Bank customer? Sign up for Standard Bank Connect online to get a bonus entry. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702. WhatsApp Bongani on 072 702 1702.
Bongani, these kings and queens and the whole monarchy, they seem to be getting away with a whole lot of things, Bongani. First of all, what I know is that culture is dynamic, but they seem to be so rigid. See, they don't take away that element of abuse in their running of this whole of in being the kings and stuff like that. So they're supposed to be ambassadors of things like gender-based violence and to condemn it in their society, but they seem to be the perpetrators. Number two, I've never heard any one of them that the king so and so have built a school there. What they do for society, I never heard that they've built a school there, they've built a park there for the society and nothing. Instead, it's the society that gives them money. I don't understand it. Moses.
Morning, Bongani. I think the king probably needs to accept that he has a problem and consider going for rehab. I think it is very important as a leader that he does so. It is about time that
people understood that leadership comes with responsibilities. Thank you, Itumelengia.
It's the hardest thing, eh? To convince somebody who doesn't think they have a problem that they do.
EWN Sport.
I was just reminded, Cindy, of a TikTok I saw at the start of the World Cup. And this young girl had this conspiracy theory, but the most outrageous one. And she said that at the start of every World Cup, and I can't remember if it was the football that they use for the tournament, but there's usually something in terms of the insignia of that particular World Cup that has a color of the winning team. And she says, oh, it's all pre-planned. And I rolled my eyes. Guess who she predicted would win this World Cup? Spain.
Did she have brown hair?
I can't remember.
I think I saw the same TikTok, in which case she predicted Portugal.
Was it Portugal? Oh, it was Portugal. You're right. You're right.
So
yeah, there we go.
Lo and behold, there goes her prediction.
You're actually right.
That's why we don't do predictions.
It was Portugal. Yeah.
Because the European champions, Spain, are through to the World Cup final. No, none of their
And they beat Portugal to get there.
I don't think their colours are on the ball, but I'll have to check because I don't recall seeing yellow. But after they beat uninspiring France 2-0 with an Otharbal penalty, the second half Poro with the second, Captain Rodri.
Well, it means a lot. We've only been twice in our history. It's so difficult to arrive until this moment, but we want more. We want to win this World Cup. We need to rest now. Of course, try to see what we can improve because we are going to expect even a tougher game the next one. But yeah, so happy.
France will now play for third on Saturday night. That'll be Didier Deschamps' last game in charge, Captain Kylian Mbappe.
I think nothing changed about what Didier means for us as a French people. As a manager, as a player, he worked on amazing history. There is one game left for him, so we're going to try to play the best game for him because he deserves it, and also all fans deserve it to have a win and to finish third in this World Cup.
Tonight, England and Argentina battle in the second semi-final at 9 o'clock, a rivalry with a turbulent history going back 40 years to 1986, when Argentina won with Maradona's famous hand of God goal. Then in 98, Argentina won after Beckham was sent off. 4 years later, England won on a Beckham penalty. Argentina's Alexis McAllister says the pressure's on England.
We don't feel any pressure, to be honest. We understand this is a World Cup, this is a semi-final, and we have the experience of playing a semi-final of a World Cup before, so that hopefully helps. But as I said, it's going to be a tough game because they're a really good team. We really respect them, and we will see today.
In some transfer news, Man United confirmed the signing of Belgian midfielder Yuri Tillemans from Villa on a 5-year deal. They've also signed goalkeeper Carl Darlow. Premier League champions Arsenal have agreed a deal to sell Belgian winger Leandro Trossard to Besiktas. Wales captain Dewey Lake has a groin injury. He's a doubt for Saturday's Nations Championship match of the Springboks. On the Boks side, 20-year-old Vusi Moyo is expected to make his debut.
Andre and Manlibok have actually been helping me with the game this week, so it's very special to know that I've got those guys helping me and going forward, so I can just implement those skills going into the game this weekend. So yeah, very happy. So probably Andre, Mani and Sash are probably the guys that I look up to the most.
And in cricket, India thrashing England by 6 wickets in the first ODI. Gill retired hurt on 80, man of the match Patel unbeaten on 57 as India chased down 259 with 28 balls to spare. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
When it comes to protecting your workforce, trust the workwear brand that has been protecting workers for over 150 years, Sweetall. Sweetall has overalls and uniform solutions for every industry, so your team is safe, comfortable and ready to tackle any challenge. Visit our Boksburg showroom, shop A1 Atlas Road, Westwood, Boksburg, or go to sweetall.com today. Sweetall, we never let you down. Superior protective workwear since 1871.
This Wednesday, July 15th, you could win an estimated 22 million rand total lotto jackpot. That's 17 million for Lotto, 1 million for Lotto Plus One, and 4 million for Lotto 5 Max. Catch the live draw this Wednesday at 9 p.m. on ETV and SABC. You could become SA's next multi-millionaire. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Caesar Kaya.
You've always moved in living color because your greatness was never monotone. Now let the world marvel at you in the all-new Aura 5 SUV, crafted with modern design. luxurious interior, and intelligent tech. Make your next move in the all-new Aura 5 SUV, starting from only $364,900. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM, go with more.
FNB presents the Retirement Reality Gallery, Retirement Meeting Art. Inspired by the 2026 FNB Retirement Insights Survey, this immersive exhibition brings to life the hopes, fears, and financial realities shaping retirement in South Africa. You can explore thought-provoking installations by leading South African artists at the Goodman Gallery in Rosebank from Thursday, the 16th of July to Sunday, the 19th of July. Entry is free. And it's all brought to you by FNB.
EWN Traffic.
17 to 9. Amo, let's wrap up the morning's traffic. Good morning.
Good morning once more, Bongani. Well, we've got delays on the Marquand North between Boysons and Carr Street. There's also queuing traffic approaching Grayston Drive on the M1 North while traveling on the M1 South. That accident has been cleared. It was right after the Baku interchange. Then in the city of Tshwane, delays on the R80 East Mabopane Highway approaching Eskom Pahlele Drive. That's due to peak time delays. We'll have more at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hi, this is Anlia Itzebet, Hollywood Bets brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counselling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Clement Manyatela, of course, coming up on your radio between 9 and 12. And Clement, I'm reliably told you will not be broadcasting from Prime Media House today, but indeed you are at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
Indeed. So we're here in Pretoria today at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. This is where the Madlanga Commission is taking place. We're here because it's a big day, Bongani. Ket Matlala is expected to appear here this morning. And of course, there are so many questions about what we can expect and what we cannot expect. And one of the things... Maybe he's going to bring a sick note from prison. Who knows? But he's going to be appearing today. And of course, lots of questions about how far is he going to go in explaining the machinations and the deals that he got into with some of the top SAPS officials. He may not even get into that, Bongani, I'm being told this morning from our sources. Apparently, his lawyers are concerned that if he answers many of the questions from the commission today, he may incriminate himself. So as part of the ways to also just maybe show a middle finger, for lack of a better phrase, because that deal didn't go through and he had to withdraw from it, then it's almost like, well, I'm not even going to give you information even when I come to the Madlanga Commission. Had he signed that deal before coming to appear here, maybe the situation would have been different. So all of us are looking forward to hearing what he's going to say when he appears this morning at the Madlanga Commission. But we're going to start the show with the open line. I want to ask the listeners what they expect from him. I want to ask the listeners for their reflections as well on the testimony of Mr. Padayachi yesterday, who's been investigating that matter of the top crime intelligence head, Dumisani Khumalo. So that's how we'll do the show today.
All right, Clement Manyatela on your dial between 9 and 12.
It's always the same with you. I want this, I need that, and somehow I am always the one paying for it. I think we need a little time apart. Not forever, just long enough for me to build some interest again. After all, distance makes the funds grow stronger.
Give your money time this July savings month. Open a Nedbank 32-day notice account on the Money app and earn up to 7.55% interest with 0 monthly fees. Go to nedbank.co.za. See money differently. Nedbank, we're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Welcome to Nando's Taste Demonials.
It's the flavor
Real reviews by real people. Dolly from Boertersig is vegetarian-ish, with a reputation to uphold. Here's what she whispered about the half chicken and a single side for $1.25.
What? I don't eat chicken, but for Nando's, I make the exception.
Well, good thing there's a salad on the side, for appearances. Of course, Nando's. Oh, what a place.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Morning, Ekuseni, 702 team. Yeah, the song that makes me to be proudly South African. It has to be my pre weekend special, I'm definitely sure. It defines an African person. So it's wise men in Wamhlanga. Aha.
Morning, Bongani. Mona here. Like you said, what song makes us proud to be South African? Doesn't have to be very famous or so on, but for me, when I hear in 1995, He Kom Die Bokke van Leon Schuster, then I have to say, I'm proud to be South African. And I'm proud to have someone like that does so much for our sports and our heritage.
We were, of course, talking about the Queen song, We Are the Champions, voted by UK fans as the song that made them feel most proud to be British. So we asked you, what song makes you proud to be South African?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk to build a better South Africa. This Wednesday, we are talking to MTN South Africa, and we're going to be talking about 21 days of yellow care. In the studio with me is Nompilo Murafu, who's the Group Chief Sustainability and Corporate Affairs Officer, in conversation with us. A very good morning to you, and great to see you again here on 702 Breakfast.
Thank you. Good morning, Bongani, and thank you for having us.
I always start with this question. Everybody knows. Why are you a corporate that cares?
So MTN is a corporate that cares because if you look at what we do across our markets, MTN operates in 19 markets across the continent. And our purpose really is to lead digital solutions for Africa's progress. So it's something that we're very, very proud of. So if you look at the whole business plan of the company, we do not do anything that is not aligned with our purpose. So we care.
One of the projects, of course, that we have to talk about is this 21 Days of Yellow Care. Now, this is a campaign that is based at the Zandspruits Clinic. Yeah. I think you're servicing something like 70,000 people. Tell us more.
So 21 Days of Yellow Care, Bongani, is a flagship project of MTN. It started about 19 years ago in Uganda. Basically, it's MTN people going out and doing good. That's all it started as. But over the years, what it's done is been able to scale, because what we do, we make sure that we bring our purpose, energy, and also our tools and products into the communities in which we serve. So in Zandspruits this year, we chose a theme called Equitable Health, Access to Healthcare. The reason being, if you look at communities, you always have schools around clinics that are very underserved. They don't have digital tools, they don't have connectivity, they do not have access to energy and solar, etc., etc. So when MTN SA in particular went to Zandspruits to volunteer there, we chose that because of the adjacency to the schools around the area, because our focus is education. But children that are not healthy and they don't have access, it actually defeats the whole purpose. So what we do, we work within the whole ecosystem of where we are. So Yellow Care is not only an MTN SA, it's one of those projects where MTN in June we look forward to. For 21 days, we all stop what we're doing and go to communities and do work.
That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I think of MTN, of course, as a mobile network, and the connection with the health and wellness space perhaps at times isn't immediately apparent.
Yeah, but think about it. There's now telemedicine.
Yes.
So the tools that you need, and one thing that I've been passionate about, if you're thinking about healthcare for me, we grew up in communities where there was a bit of shame about going to the clinic. So companies like MTN, with the tools that we have, if we give you access to apps where you can get education on HIV prevention, for instance, mental health, and all those things that young people need to get information and access to. It's much better than the times when we all had to stand in a queue and be seen by everyone that you have a problem that you're trying to solve through a clinic. So there's a lot that we do, particularly in Zandspruit. We actually help them also to digitize information that patients keep in the clinics. You know, like a clinic still have piles and piles of files. Filing is
That
still a
can go
problem in our
missing.
communities that go missing. Your information can end up anywhere. So we assisted them to digitize that as much as possible. So what we do now with Yellow Care is that it's not a project that only lasts for 21 days. It's much more sustainable because we work with the community first. They need to be part of it. They need to buy into the project. And then we make sure that you partner with government, you partner with the local government in the area, the district managers, and also the partners in the ecosystem. Because unfortunately, MTN, we're not an answer to everything, but we need to create an enabling environment for other corporates to come in as well.
How exciting has the journey been? I mean, if I think about, and yes, of course, you weren't there for all of it, but if I think about the 32-year journey MTN has traveled from those brick phones in 1994 to using tech in ways that can benefit communities such as you've described. How exciting is it to be able to harness all these technological tools and advancements to do more than just connectivity?
I always say that I'm so lucky. I'm in a position where I get to experience MTN. Like you mentioned earlier, people know us as selling data and airtime. It's a much more than that, a company. There's nothing more than heartwarming when you see a community that's been connected for the first time. I always say, the company, we always say, a connected community is an empowered community. The future of the continent will always be digital going forward. So our job is to make sure that we do not leave anyone behind in whichever area you are.
21 days, MTNers going about to do this amazing work. Are there any heartwarming stories from interactions and, participation in this way over the years that you can tell us about?
For me, I'm just going to tell the story of Zandspruit because I was there when we were there. We went there many times because it's not a one-day thing. It's 21 days of doing good. It's how people see themselves afterwards, There is something about dignity, I always say. Like how if you give people dignity and hope, and then they start looking at themselves in a way that's different. I come from similar communities, and I always remember how it used to be like for us growing up. But when people actually give you access and opportunity, and they're not doing things for you for free, it changes how you look at yourself and improves your own standard of living. Because now, all of a sudden, you've been given an opportunity to do it for yourself, not that it's given to you for free. So
just explain that a little bit.
So what our model at MTN is that we don't really do things for people. We come to assist you to give you access, right? We'll give you access to digital tools. We will empower you and make sure that you have connectivity in your community. We'll make sure that all the tools that you need are available for you to succeed. Instead of the old model where people used to come and do stuff on your behalf, right? Yeah. And then they leave you, and then now you're left with a problem you had already yesterday. So it's how young people see themselves when you can actually be able to have access to a device. We take those things for granted, Bongani, because you and I have a phone, Like we have a laptop, you have all kinds of things. Some people don't. So access to digital tools is the future of young people. They learn skills, they learn how to do things themselves, they can access information. It's a very, very important thing to do.
So what will your measure then be in the long term of the success of this intervention?
So 21 days of Yellow Care is a once-off every year. We go out and volunteer. But what we've done so that it's scalable and it's sustainable, to your point, is that it should really not be once-off. Our success will see when we go back to those communities and see what they've done with the work that we started. Because when we leave them and we move on to another project, we make sure that they have enough tools for them to move forward with that project so that it doesn't die. So Zandspruit, for me, like next year, if we go back, we need to make sure that what we left, because we have to teach them to digitize the files for the patients, because MTN won't be there every day to make sure that it's done. So the success is that when you see people that they have grown, because it also creates employment. Young people learning a skill. digital skilling, Bongani, is the future.
It is, absolutely, because, I mean, just if I think from a practical point of view, it's not just that files can go missing.
Yeah.
It's the entire process of having to go and collect a file
Yep.
before you can actually see a clinician. And so you find that people are waiting in endless queues, not even to receive treatment or for the real reason that they are there. They must still go and wait in that queue for that file and then take that file. And it's a whole long process. But if you've got all of this accessible digitally, it makes that process so much more seamless. And then I suppose ultimately more patients, more community members can be assisted. But also I would imagine it requires collaboration. You have to work with government. You have to work with other stakeholders to make sure that this isn't, as you've just said, only an MTN program.
So imagine the anxiety of going to a clinic and your file is missing. It's because that's personal information. So in terms of working with others, it becomes very important, because starting a new project in a community like Zandspruit, you need to make sure that there are partners that are supportive. It's a project that's recognized by the government for it to be sustainable. You need all that to work together. Like I mentioned, for us, our focus is mostly on education, but we have realized that education alone needs support of the whole ecosystem, like health, et cetera, et cetera. Like you said, it's not an obvious thing that MTN will be interested in creating access to healthcare, but it's something that more and more we've realized is important. There's Ebola that's broken out.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. We've always been, when Ebola happened many years ago, MTN came in and did donations. But this time around, we want to actually be part of the solution through our digital tools, over and above just giving money through donations.
A long-term sustainable solution. Nompilo Murafo, the Group Chief Sustainability and Corporate Affairs Officer at MTN, a corporate that cares.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Look at the time. It is 9 o'clock and the Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Financial Sector Conduct Authority has launched an investigation into the Public Investment Corporation following governance concerns and the suspension of its CEO, Patrick Dlamini. Dlamini was placed on precautionary suspension earlier this week to allow for an independent investigation into allegations of impropriety. The regulator says the developments have raised questions about governance, leadership, stability, transparency and public confidence. Mongezi Koko reports.
The FSCA says the PIC's role as the country's largest asset manager, responsible for investing more than 3 trillion rand on behalf of public sector clients, including the Government Employees Pension Fund, places it under heightened governance expectations. The regulator says it has decided to open a formal investigation under the Financial Sector Regulation Act. It cites recent developments at the corporation, including whistleblower allegations and the suspension of its chief executive. The FSCA stresses the investigation is aimed at protecting the integrity of South Africa's financial system and maintaining public executive. The FSCA stresses the investigation is aimed at protecting the integrity of South Africa's financial system and maintaining public confidence. The PIC has maintained that Dlamini's suspension is precautionary and does not constitute a finding of wrongdoing. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Alleged crime boss Vusumuzi Ket Matlala is expected to appear at the Matlala Commission just this morning for his much-anticipated testimony. The commission has described Matlala as central to investigation of criminal and political infiltration into the country's justice system. Matlala is currently behind bars, facing charges ranging from attempted murder, fraud and corruption. Tabiso Goba takes a look.
Vusumuzi Ket Matlala wears a lot of hats, from tender tycoon, alleged underworld crime boss and political fixer. His name has been mentioned countless times since the Matlala Commission began its hearings last September. Matlala has been implicated in paying off some of the most senior cops in the SAPS, from gifting Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya a herd of impalas to a 70,000 rand cash loan to organized crime boss Richard Shibiri. He's also showered SAP's section head for quality management, Rachel Macheng, with money and gifts. However, she told the commission these were not bribes but romantic gestures since they were having an affair. It's also been alleged Matlala used his influence to get people arrested, access confidential police documents, and score multi-million rand tenders. Thabiso Kuba, Eyewitness News.
The Western Cape High Court will today hear arguments in an application by President Cyril Ramaphosa to stop Parliament's impeachment proceedings against him. Ramaphosa wants the court to first review the Section 89 panel report that has given rise to the inquiry linked to the theft of US dollars from his Limpopo farm in 2020. He's argued that he will suffer irreparable harm if Parliament continues with impeachment proceedings. Lindsay Dentlinka reports.
Ramaphosa has asked the court to set aside the Section 89 panel report, arguing that it's fatally flawed. He says he's been left no choice but to file an interdict application after Speaker Toka Didiza refused to stay proceedings. She's indicated to the court that Parliament will abide by whatever ruling it makes. But chairperson of the impeachment committee, Makashule Ghana, says he will carry forth the mandate from the committee to reject the president's application.
And we'll continue our work in the impeachment committee, and it is for that reason that we have opposed the application.
The ATM, which initiated impeachment proceedings against the president, will also oppose the application. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And the World Health Organization says a deadly Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo could be 4 times bigger than official figures suggest. According to the latest official figures in the country, more than 1,960 people have been infected and more than 700 have died since it was detected 2 months ago. But the WHO says its modeling indicates the scale of the outbreak is at least 2 to 4 times the number of cases that they found. According to official numbers, this is already one of the largest Ebola outbreaks recorded, with the virus spreading faster than ever seen before. Cases of Ebola, which spreads through close contact and infected bodily fluids, have so far been found in 5 DRC provinces as well as in neighboring Uganda. Gold is trading at $4,032.58 an ounce. The rand is at 16.36 to the dollar, 21.95 to the pound, 18.71 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $85.84 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 West. This is between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange. While traveling in Bedford View, we've got an accident. It happened on the N3 North, right near the Gilulis turnoff. Delays coming out of the Geldenhuys interchange.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees. The breaking story in EW and the Sawa, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority has launched an investigation into the Public Investment Corporation following governance concerns and the suspension of its CEO, Patrick Dlamini.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Clement Manyatela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the Clement Manyatela Show on this Tuesday, the 15th day of July. It's wonderful to have you with us here on 702. We're in Pretoria today, Kopitori. Mahlanyeng, as they always say. We're here at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. This is where the Madlanga Commission is taking place. It's a big day today at the Commission. Ket Matlala is expected to appear, and one wonders what's going to happen inside these chambers today. Because there are a few dynamics here, which I'll explain to you in a bit. But we start with the 702 open line on 011-883-0702. You can send your WhatsApps as well on 072-702-1702. What are you expecting today from Ket Matlala? Or let me put it this way. What do you think would be important for Ket Matlala to confirm or share with the Commission? The dynamics I was talking about are a few. Number one, Ket Matlala may exercise his right to avoid self-incrimination under Section 35 of the Constitution, which forms part of the right to a fair trial. And this right, as you know, ensures that no arrested, detained, or accused person can be forced to give evidence that would implicate them in a crime. So he may arrive here and just not answer questions because there are cases currently in the courts. The other dynamic is that the Madlanga Commission may have received his statement late. So evidence leaders haven't had enough time to go through it, if that is the case indeed. But that's part of the information we were getting yesterday, which means that his appearance may be postponed. And the last dynamic I think is important to consider this morning. It has to do with the plea deal that Ket Matlala withdrew from. That deal was likely to lead to the arrests of some of the SAPS top officials. In fact, we are told that the NPA was getting ready to pounce on those top officers that would have been implicated by Ket Matlala as part of the plea deal. Would that have included Shadrach Sibia? Who knows what Ket Matlala was going to share with the NPA. So how does that then affect the Commission? Well, if Matlala withdrew from the deal, then that complicates what he also says going forward. Because if he had signed this deal and gave a statement to the police, I think he would have probably shared with the Commission some of what he has already shared with the police, which would help the Commission recommend charges for some of the top cops who appeared here, and evidence wasn't enough for the Commission to recommend that they be charged. So why would Ket Matlala share too much and incriminate some of the top cops when he's just walked away from a plea deal? Why would he come and talk about the top cops that he gave monies to when he won't be doing that in a court of law? Because he's decided to withdraw from the deal. And I think that's another dynamic that we have to consider and reflect on as Ket Matlala is expected to appear this morning at the Madlanga Commission. Let me know what your thoughts are on 011-883-0702. You can call as well